Welcome back to Rush of Madness. This is session number 15 entitled To Do What We Must. Last session, the group re entered the um, Dwarven Hold at Blackspear, maneuvered around a bit, found a backdoor entrance into the location where the Dwargar were holding fast. Some things were uncovered that weren't uncovered the last time they were in this space. And we ended the session on a pretty cool cliffhanger with Orlandis being taken, possessed by a ghost. So we're going to re enter the scene there and just kind of move into that narratively. So, Orlandis, for you at this moment, everything is completely dark,
Oh shit.
black,
Okay.
pitch black. You see nothing, you hear nothing, you are completely devoid of sense. I don't know if you've ever been in a sensory deprivation chamber or not in real life, but it's a lot worse than imagining it.
Imagine being stuck in a line in the DMV for hours.
Imagine being stuck in a line in the DMV for hours.
I mean, I've gotten blackout drunk, so that's basically the same
Combine
thing.
the two in the worst way possible.
Yeah, no,
Mm,
there's good in
drunk
blackout
isn't
drunk,
the same.
but there's good in blackout drunk.
Oh no, it was all bad.
No, it's all good. I can't think of a single reason why being blackout drunk would ever be bad. So, you're in this dark space. You can definitely feel the gravity of it very immediately. It's maddening.
Okay.
And then you see a face. The face is not known to you. It is a humanoid's face, like a elf human, something to that effect. But it's just kind of transparent and blue, and just kind of sitting there in the void in front of you. You kind of wish to like move and interact with it, or even speak to it, and none of these are available options. Just feels like you're kind of locked, cognizant, but unable to do anything. The
Okay.
voice says, "That's me. Everything that you feel like you can't do is mine. I don't want this to be permanent. I don't think that you do either. So, don't give me trouble, and I won't give your friends any either. Sound good?"
Can Orlandis nod?
You can you can kind of think, and
Okay,
that's
yeah.
really all you're able to kind of think.
Gotcha. So Orlandis he's okay with it as long as no one gets hurt.
So yeah, you kind of acknowledge it. Okay. All right. Snapping back to reality. Lose, Orlandis kind of turns from the fountain, and the mist kind of disappears, and he says, "Let's get out of here."
Alright, we're not going to check the other rooms?
Don't trust it. It's scary. I wouldn't get too close to that well. I saw some things in the mist and in the water.
Well, I suppose that we should go then.
I mean, if you want to check it, we probably should get assistance from Astrogoth or Balgar.
I can help with that.
She'd call down to Astrogroth and Balgar.
I wouldn't suggest it, though. I mean, I wouldn't want to tamper with something that might cause us problem or delay. Which
Well,
totally sounds just like Orlando's.
Right.
Yeah, it's doing a.
Out of character, it does sound like Orlando's, and most of the things I'm going to be saying are like Orlando's, in that they're like Orlandis since you've known Orlandis for a month and a half, and there was that time before we started role playing where he was very cognizant of like tactics and like he still is. Or I mean, to be fair to Jonah, he's done some pretty solid shit mechanically.
Yeah.
I've been trying. Okay.
He's done good.
To be fair to Jonah, before I bury him some more.
Yeah. Not even hard.
Well, if you think that we shouldn't keep going and check the other rooms, then I suppose we should go.
Just have
I
a
mean, there doesn't seem to be anyone here, and Glenn's new girlfriend is adamant on getting out herself.
And we still don't know what did this, and it could be somewhere down here. And I don't know about you, but I don't really want to find out what exactly did this.
Glint kind of, or not Glint, sorry, Orlandis kind of goes, Glint's new girlfriend. Because
Yeah.
Orlandis
though-
never met the woman. He was already wandering away.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh yeah. He found one in one of the rooms, and she seems to have.
Pause for a second. You're still
Charmed.
talking in character. Sorry, I don't mean to. It's just
You're good.
mechanically and narratively important. So while this conversation is happening, Orlandis, you're kind of now able to hear voices in the space, and you're
Mhm.
hearing Lose kind of talk, but it sounds like someone's like talking through a muffled wall of water. Like it's this strange kind of sensation of it's Lose's voice, but you're not hearing what she's saying. You then hear the ghost voice say to you, face kind of manifesting again. Glint's girlfriend, who is it? Do you know?
Out of character, do I know?
No, again, think in
Mhm.
character as best you can, like focusing
Gotcha.
on what you know.
So Orlandis would just try to emphasize no, unknown.
Okay. And then, sorry, Elizabeth, to have cut you
Yeah.
off, but as you kind of,
You're good.
finish describing what's happened, again, I, as the DM, obviously know I did it to you.
It was you.
It was me. He says, interesting. Well, we should definitely be cautious, but if he is willing to offer his protection to her, well, then we can do nothing but help. It's probably best we get her out of here with, I just have this feeling in my stomach, that well and everything beyond it just seems off.
No. That's fair. Didn't see any Dwergar in there, did ya?
In the
She
mist,
kind of laughs and
no, it's
Yeah.
just. I don't want to talk about it. He kind of shrugs past you, and kind of starts moving towards the door.
yeah, she'll
when
start
he-
following behind him.
When he shivers, in that moment, Orlandis, there's like this momentary like clarity where you see out of your own eyes, you feel all your senses, you feel like you're like in a different place than the void, and you're brushing past Lose, and then it just kind of all shutters close again.
Gotcha.
Well, what did you say that woman's name was?
We didn't have.
Idala.
Adola.
Idala?
I-D-A-L-A.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Idala.
Who else?
Oh,
At-
it was an 8.
At the end of the session, before certain well-related activities happened, we found a summoning circle down in
Yep.
here, correct?
Yep. A
Is that
summoning circle? Yep.
Okay, and Castia would know or be able to tell
I think
that it was...
Astrogoth was the one who pinned it, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he
Yep.
did see it. I just don't know if I couldn't remember if we had already identified it as a
Yeah.
demon summoning circle.
Well, Glint found it. Glint identified it was a summoning circle of some sort. He couldn't read the language, so he couldn't really make connections, and he wasn't too concerned about it because he's more concerned with getting this woman out of here.
Out of curiosity, would Castia be able to connect the symbols around this portal or summoning circle to the same kind
Yes.
of letters? Well, also the letters that are scribbled in the margins of that book that I couldn't identify as demonic?
Handwriting's different.
Okay.
I think the one similarity we found was the symbol on the orcs' foreheads were the same, or nearly the same as the ones on the doors, or the door that had that specific Denizatvan symbol.
Well, no, it was the same styling of magic, but it was a
So,
different
yeah.
symbol.
Yeah.
It's old magic.
Uh-huh.
Was that
We
a
all-
Berserk reference, perchance?
What?
The symbols on the foreheads?
Maybe. So, you make your way back to the pit, and you can see
Got
that
him.
Adala and Balgar are talking. And Balgar seems to be kind of nodding, and then she kind of turns and looks at you, kind of finishing her thought, and Balgar kind of... I guess you're the first one to come back. I just want to let you know I'm not going to be heading back to Cardend.
Oh, well, you can't stay here. There's no one here, and there's a bunch of Denisaphans on the other side of that door.
I think I know the way they went. Not all of them got. Be sure.
Oh, well,
This isn't what I sounded like
so
last session. It
No,
was more
he-
like this.
so they're still here,
No, they're not
or
here.
they escaped.
They're further in, yeah? Deep in
Okay.
the dark tunnels. I think it will be a couple of 6-day, maybe a 6-day hole traveling if I go by myself. You might slow me down.
Well,
Brr.
I mean, I trust you to handle your business, but are you sure you'll be safe?
I'll be honest, I came out to Cardend for a reason. It was this, and I found the most important thing to my bloodline that I could think of. It's right there, the body of Durgat the Black. In its casket, at rest. And these Dwergar were the ones who protected them. Protected this specific place. Even till most of their end. I find it is important, and he kind of reaches over to, I think it was Orlandis that had the head in the bag on his belt,
Yes.
and takes the head off of your bag. Just kind of puts it onto his without looking into it at all. And he says,
Okay.
I think it's important that I make sure that they know what's going on up here. And if they're invested in keeping their family or their cousins like we blaze
Can we-
witches, then
Can we say that he also takes the memento for the crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
he's got that on his belt.
All right. Cool.
Just going to head down into the dark and find the Greybeards. Once I do, I'll see what they're wanting to do. And if reclaiming the Black Spear is their priority, then that's what we're going to be doing. I do appreciate
Well-
your help, and I know that I haven't been much of an aid myself. With everything going on, it's been kind of troubling for me. While we were traveling and doing the things in the town, I was really focused on the mountain.
I understand.
And everything. So, I appreciate your help, and I definitely don't want you to think that we're not friends. Far from it. We definitely are. I feel like if I split off from this and head off into what you're going to be dealing with, it's going to be a problem that I might not get back to, and if it's something that I ignore, it might cause a problem that would lead to this place being irretrievable. And it's very important to me.
I understand. Well, safe travels, my friend.
He'll do kind of a quick grasping of hands with, a couple folks, focusing on Astrogoth.
Yeah, it's like the forearm handshake.
Yeah. He pulls out his book, Astrogoth, and kind of pulls out a couple of notes. Just some things that he thought were important, but that aren't related to, the dwarves themselves. And kind of hands those over to you. Just notes on anything that you think would be interesting to kind of bring up at a later point. And
Azeroth wipes a tear away from his face and he goes, I guess it's back to the one-man band.
No.
He says, doop doop.
Doot.
Sad dude.
And you would know that dupe is the dwarvish translation of dude.
Aw.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because it's a dupe.
Doop doop. It's more banjo-y, I think. Anyway, he, if not stopped, will head down the ladder with his stuff in tow. It doesn't, out of character note, it doesn't look like he had a lot in the ways of like taking stuff from the party treasury or anything to that effect. So you don't have to
Did
go.
he want his cousin's head?
Yeah,
He
took that
took, yeah.
Okay.
and took
Barry?
took the broken crossbow as well. But he'll also
But
note
it's
that
broken.
again, it's another piece of evidence. to what
Fair.
he was saying. But you'll note too that the one thing that you weren't able to find, and there were a lot of bodies, most of them were kind of visibly noticeable, but the one body that didn't pop up was the advisor to Nymira, the one who kind of sat by the throne and acted as her major domo. So it might be the case that that's who he's going to be tailing.
Mm.
All right. With that parting, Adala says, he was really troubled. He didn't know what he was doing here. I kind of have a face that a lot of people can talk to, and he just seemed like he really needed to get back to what he was.
It seemed like he knew what he was after to me.
Well, he didn't know what he was doing here, is what he was saying.
I have a question for you, Mrs. Glint.
I'm sorry, that's not my name.
Oh,
Yeah.
there was a. We found a. Well, I went back to get more of your notes, and there was this circle for demons attached to your room. Did you know that?
Yeah,
That seems bad.
that's where I came from.
You came from a demon circle?
Yes. Didn't you meet Nymira? You were carrying her head.
Astragoth does the very
We
slow
found her
head
head.
turn.
Out of character, Namira did mention that she had a succubus as a companion. There was
Oh, she
nothing.
did?
There was no.
I
There was
absolutely did.
literally
What do you
no
mean,
betrayal or deception.
Companion.
As a
Oh,
companion.
Oh, like. Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't
it
think I
is
need
a
to roll
succubus.
investigation to connect those dots.
What's
Yeah.
that?
I said I don't think I need to roll investigation to connect those dots.
You don't care. She's great.
It's great.
Just like writes down in his journal, he's like, got a succubus girlfriend today.
it was
Pretty
This is
sweet.
fine. I'm fine with the events that are unfolding around me.
I would assume that a lot of you are not terribly keen on traveling with me because of that. Is that what I'm being led to
I'm
assume
just
here?
very confused. I think that's normal, though.
Never
Okay.
traveled with a demon?
Huh. Great minds. Great minds.
Well, I very much would appreciate being let out from this place.
That's
Glenn?
fair.
She
Yes,
says.
that's what we're currently working on.
Everybody
only
wants to
know
leave
one-
here very suddenly.
Well, I mean, never mind the fact that we're kind of cornered by Dennis Saffins.
Well, Landis says it shouldn't be a problem. I think I have an idea.
Okay, if you think you, I was gonna climb up there and try to move some of the rubble from the dragon hole, but if you've got a better idea, I'd love to hear it.
No, that was exactly my idea.
Oh, okay. How do you plan on doing that?
You said you were going to do it. That's how I was going to plan on doing it.
Her plan was going to be having you do it.
No, this is not Orlandis talking.
Oh, okay. And Glenn just kind of like reflects on the fact that he's not used to Orlandis telling him what to do.
What are you talking about? He told you to fight in the middle of combat tons of times.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
not out of
okay,
character.
That's fair. That's fair.
Everybody's like, I'm gonna catch Jonah on a slip up. He's gonna be like acting out of character. No, Jonah's really not hard to match up character wise. Every single character he's played is very well defined, and I can do it. Like it's not
I'm gonna go ahead and use my psionic recovery to recover my one spent
perfect. Yeah.
psionic energy
Darn
dice.
basic, okay.
No, it's not basic. I didn't say you were basic. I said well defined. Very different.
When did
Yeah,
I get that?
He didn't tag you as a pumpkin spice bitch. It's fine. Don't worry, John.
No, I can do a cannibal goblin psychopath. I can do a
Yes.
paladin who's too fucking gung ho to jump into bad situations. I can
True.
do a timid tactician. I can do these things. Like I could do a psychopath
Damn.
with a pistol. I can,
He is he is calling you out on the fucking carpet, dog. Like
But
Jesus.
can you do the hustle?
I can do the hustle, the kung fu hustle. Whichever.
Oh.
I took 4 points of damage, and I can't remember from what.
I could certainly do
Falling.
hashtag cleric crew.
We fell down the hole, or we jumped in the
Oh,
water and
cleric
got bounced
crew.
around.
Yeah, I used my psionic thing on that.
I think you failed, so you took 8
I
damage
believe
and
I
then
took-
reduced it.
I believe I took, I think, 5 points of damage.
Yeah.
But I reduced it by 8, so I took no damage from that.
I don't know. I think
I'm
maybe you
wondering
fell
if
again.
I triggered a trap or something?
No, we fell at the end after we got out of the water and took damage from the fall because Elizabeth and I passed our saves, and I'm also down 4 hit points. So I think that was just unavoidable.
Oh, okay.
You've-
Yeah,
you got-
I think that might have been it.
The water slide ended far above the water,
Right.
and
It was like I took damage because I rolled poorly going through the water slide.
Yeah.
And then
anyway.
so I prevented that, and then I didn't prevent the damage I took from the fall.
back to
Um,
Mrs. Glint.
Do you call her that again?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
She immediately like looks at you, and her eyes start flaring kind of this bright orange. It was not funny the first time.
I'm sorry. I'm very bad at names. I don't know a lot.
Losse's actually chuckling a little bit.
She
Yeah.
says, "Well, you would learn to do better when you are stopped and asked to do so."
Okay.
Glint is like staring daggers at Cassio, like, don't fuck this up for me.
I want
Cats-
this.
Castia just kind of sulks and was gonna ask a question, but just
If you start descending the ladder as she requested, she'll just kind of drop off and just fall like slowly, kind of keeping alongside Glint. It just looks like this commoner lady in just commoner clothes is like floating, like she's in the same posture as like M. Bison doing a bison stomp, or like, you know, some badass villain who's like, you know, falling down with arms crossed, but she's just falling like casually and slowly. Like she's not falling like a rocket. She's just gliding next to you and dropping.
And meanwhile, Glint's just like walking down the wall.
Yep, absolutely. It's like the two of you are
Show
just like
offs.
walking. You're walking like horizontally, or
Yeah.
and then she's just kind
So
of
like
like
Glint's like this, and she's like this, and we're just like.
perfection. Everyone else.
And he's like, and as they're like going, he's just kind of like, so you come here often?
Well, this is where I was brought forth into the material.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, that was a stupid question.
Oh, no bother. It's a simple matter of control for the Dwergar. A lot of-
Astrogoth slaps his
So-
forehead once you say that, and it echoes through the cave system.
So now that she's dead, are you free?
In a sense, yes. My bindings have been broken. I'm pretty sure the magic circle your child friend saw was inert.
Ah, so she summoned you, and in the process of summoning you, you were bound to her service.
Correct.
Ah,
That can be the way of it sometimes. Unfortunately, for her, it was a blood binding. So when she died, I was free.
Hmm.
Some people, greater users of the arts than her, make it so that if they were to die, instead the bloodbound creature is instead sent back to the abyss.
Hmm. Well,
Would that
the
have been better or worse?
To get out of hell free card.
the chamber we're going to be trying to clear is this way.
Fair enough. When you get down there, what I will kind of fast track here, because this is obviously not the most interesting kind of part. What you'll note is that some of the causeways that were kind of shooting water have stopped, and that's due to kind of the efforts of the Denisovans, but not all. And so, Glint, through work, you're able to kind of figure out a pattern to not knock the cave free, but to basically break open the cave pathway enough for your group to move through by basically making it so that the water pressure from the lake itself shifts downwards by kind of creating a new hole and allowing it to just descend. I just am moving you through the same cave structure that you got out in.
Oh, I figured it was like a bunch of rubble that was piled up in the top.
No. So it was more of like kind of a shifting of the wall because the water pressure was kind of pushed out. So because they blocked holes inside of the lake. So you basically breaking it kind of causes the dirt that was being pressured down to kind of be looser and allowed to move away. But again, I don't want to spend time dealing with the mechanics of getting out because it's not narratively important for me. And I just want to fast track it. And so that now that that's done, moving back out into the world, do you wish to linger around Blackspear, or do you wish to return back to Cardhead?
I can't imagine there's anything to be gained from lingering around. I'm really fucking bummed that the fucking Dennis Satmans stole all the good shit. I think we should return the card end. At some point, Glint would ask her, or at least sort of investigate how she feels about vampires and see if she might be interested in helping us with the Lycoys.
Well, I'll be completely honest. Not bound to do anything to aid you whatsoever. And you doing this wasn't really a favor to me. It was more or less my doing, as I'm sure some of you have already caught on. She smiles. I think our transaction is complete, unless you have something to offer me to help you.
Well, I'm sure a price can be negotiated.
Again, it would be in your best interest to offer something. That's how fiendish negotiations typically work.
Okay, so do I need to roll something to know what?
No, I'm not giving you answers here. You need to think about it and decide what you want to do.
Yeah, but I'm saying Glint has knowledge of like these kinds of things.
No,
He
no,
has
no, no,
arcane knowledge.
No. You as the player have all the knowledge you need. If there's something you want to offer, you can. If there's
What
nothing
would
you
a
can think to,
succubus want?
if there's nothing you can think to offer.
I mean, obviously the hanky panky.
As much as I hate to suggest this, we could always give her my black, gold, and purple ostentatious clothing that I found. But
He shrugs. And if you kind of pull it out to show it, she immediately changes into it as if, she were wearing it.
oh, I was gonna wear that. Okay.
No, you still have yours. She just made it a complete copy.
Oh, double clothes. Got it.
Yeah. Succubus, or succubi rather, correct pronunciation, are shape changers, so they can kind of
Right.
change the face they would.
What if you offer her your firstborn?
As a non-child rearing creature, she probably wouldn't be terribly interested.
Yeah.
Because typically, transactional ownership of children, although that is a really weird thing to say about kids, goes to the one that's having the kid.
Ooh, human trafficking.
That would have been totally a shit Reddit says thread right there.
Yeah.
The
sure
fine
it
print. Are succubi capable of being patrons?
Powerful ones, yes, but not just a regular ass one.
Okay. Would entering into a pact with a succubus
She's not interested.
allow them to become more powerful?
She would say she's not interested.
Who just wants your soul, dog?
So as far as like now being out of the cave, what she's going to relate to you in kind of just short order is freedom. Right now is the most important thing. So helping you with your tasks, chores, is not something she's going to be like. She wants to go do fun shit like eat people, but she's not doing that right now because, again, our transaction's done. She doesn't feel like any of this deserves
We're
any of that.
currently weighing her down.
Right.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Despite her being completely evil, like demonically so, she is not eating you because a couple of factors. But let's just
Yeah,
say
she
one of them
probably
is
understands
because
it.
she feels like that was a good trade.
Right. And the jig is up, so if she pushes her luck, things probably won't
There was no
turn out.
jig, though.
in favor.
She never was lying to you guys.
Oh no, she was honest the whole time.
Fair enough.
She was just
because she's a
chilling.
woman? You're such a sexist.
No, what I'm
Jonah.
saying is, it's not like, logically speaking, it's not like she would try to push her luck.
No. So, like, in all honesty, like, if we did get into a fight, she does have kind of upper hand at current. There's 4 of you that are actually willing to fight. And it would be her and
That's fair.
Glint versus the rest of you. And she
Right.
can fly, and none of you
Right.
can. And Glint
I
can
can
climb.
Misty
That's
Step.
fair. I mean, I'm not
30
like,
feet. I fly 90 around, girl. Let's go.
I'm not married to the idea of enlisting the succubus's help.
Right.
I was
So-
just curious if
Perfect.
there was an option or an avenue there.
Yeah, it's entirely up
Because
to you.
we came here looking for allies, and surprise, they're all fucking dead.
What I want to make sure you understand is I, as DM, normally kind of give you everything you need to kind of formulate a structure on things. This is
Right.
not one of those instances. This is, if you want to pursue that as a goal, that's well outside of what I am offering. So if you wish to try that, you can. It's just, I don't think you have the method.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, Glint doesn't
Fair.
really have anything she wants.
Does anybody else have anything else they want to say to Adala before she does get out of here?
Avoid the mausoleum looking thing.
I think I'm aware of kind of what's been going on. Balgar was rather loose-lipped.
Fair.
Cards are like
Just
that.
avoid it.
Fair enough. She
Unless
will
you want to eat them, then that's great. That's your prerogative.
spin in a very kind of just, quick fashion. When she comes about full circle, 360 degrees, you see that she has changed her form. She is wearing very, very little, most of it being lace, what's left. Her body doubles in size as wings spread out from her. And she seems to be quite a bit taller, somewhere around the 8-foot height. But, like, still, like, out of her commoner's robe and the like, she appears to be, like, very physically capable. Yeah. And whoosh. She looks like she could beat you all up, is what I was saying. If she were a bully.
We like that.
So, yeah. I don't think in 5th edition, if not the case in my world at least, there's no difference between a succubus and an incubus. It's really just the form that they take at the time. So, the
I suppose
genders,
that's true.
the gender
Because it's
naming,
not like they're shapeshifters, so their gender
the gender
is,
naming typically falls to how you're perceiving them or how they're
Right.
displaying themselves. But yeah,
So they either take that form or the form of a band. Got it.
right, a dope band from the early 2000s, was it? My brain right?
So
That sounds
when does this charm wear off?
No, it doesn't.
No, when?
Yeah, it
When-
does. It does not do that.
Every
Oh,
time
so
you
shit.
think
So
about
so
her.
if she just like shows up again, he'll still be charmed by her?
Yeah. So
yeah.
let me double check.
Man, he's about to be a very fucking sad boy.
Oh, for one day. For one day.
He's still about to be a very fucking sad boy.
I
for the
will.
next
I will
24
say.
hours.
I will say. The statement states that if the target successfully saves against the effect, or if the effect on it ends, the target is immune to the fiend's charm for the next 24 hours. I never liked that rule on the last part of it. Saving against it, I get it. But, like, letting it go and linger on and then it ends, and then being steeled against it, that never made sense to me. So I'm going to go ahead and omit that from the rules and say that anytime she uses the power on you again, you automatically fail. Because it's narratively
Whatever.
not right.
I really, at this point, I doubt I will run into her again.
Or might be willing to just say, yeah, fuck it. And who's to say she isn't a recurring character? You don't know.
I mean, we'll find out.
Find out.
Well, into the last year.
Hey.
So I would say directly this path, like kind of up north that way, probably maybe a couple 100 yards off screen, is where the boat recovery is going.
So I'm sorry, you said she did take off?
Yeah, she flew away.
As she flies off, Glint just like heaves a big sigh and he says, "Just like that, she flew out of my life forever."
See, now she has to come back. It's funnier. Sure he isn't. Sorry. I just read the chat and I said, sure he isn't.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I got nothing else for you. I'm not directing you. If you folks have a plan or a goal or a place you want to go.
I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
Okay.
Glint is going to do some investigation of the area and see if he can find any evidence of humanoids, orcs, or Denisophans that have been operating in the area recently.
I would say that in the lake area, just kind of like what you saw when you first came out here to realize that the place had been kind of blocked off.
Hmm.
But besides that, not much besides.
You said we're on the edge of the lake. We're right
Yeah.
about where.
Kind of in the middle of the three kind of holes there.
So we're about where Orlandis is at.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So Glint goes down to the bank of the lake and sort of cleans himself off.
Cleans himself off.
Oh no.
Wording.
He's really just like staring at himself in the water, looking all sad.
Okay.
But he's also washing all the tomb dirt off of him.
Orlando says, I think we should probably head back to town.
Yeah,
That's
sounds
a great idea.
about right.
Not much for us out here, and we already have an understanding. A lot of their forces are already out here. I think it's best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So you folks fast back, get to Garden, back to Midtown. And as you're making your way, Orlandis stops once you get into town. At the point where Red Hill and Little Lane intersect. Stops there, kind of looks at Lose for a second, and kind of stares down at the ground and says, I need to go check in on I need to go check on Balfield. Bathild.
Why?
I haven't in a while, and I just want to
I'll
make...
go.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
I just want to make sure that, and this isn't her pausing, this is me pausing, because I'm having a time. Son that went with you. The son...
Sarth.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Sarth the Dragon Slayer,
Sarth
you
the Dragon
bastard.
Slayer, sorry.
I thought you were the Dragon Slayer.
There are 2 Dragon Slayers. It was a team effort.
That's fair. Family effort.
I'll be honest. I think we looked gift wise for the same thing, and I almost did this one, but then I did it. So yeah, obviously people at home can't see what's happening, so that's good.
It's probably good because you get banned.
Probably a good
That
thing.
might get me that might get me off a kick or Twitch.
Yeah.
Get back.
Oh,
No.
Kicked off of Twitch. Okay, so he'll go, and Cascade you're going with.
hmm I don't want to be around when Albrecht finds out not only did we not find help, we also lost somebody.
Okay, so as you're walking, there's a moment where you kind of pass near. In these woods, there are some old grave markers.
hmm
Most of the graves are kind of located at the church, but there are definitely some on this side at Red Hill.
Mhm.
It gets its name. That's where the road gets its name. And at that moment, Orlandis, everything kind of seizes in your mind, and then you're kind of just, the next thing you know, you are on a dirt road throwing up into the dirt. And Cassia, what you see on your side is him stop, kind of just staring off into space in the direction of those graves, and then he just kind of convulses for a moment and then drops to his knees and starts throwing up.
Are you okay? We didn't eat anything while we were in the. What I. Do.
Those cookies! My cookies are bad!
So I'm sorry, you said Orlandis started throwing up?
Yeah.
Damn.
That-
Everywhere.
Is this while he's on his way to Bathos?
Yeah,
Or is
with
Yeah, I think
Cassia
it's
and
just Java.
Castellan, yeah.
Wait a second. Did we just cross holy ground?
No. And again, you didn't.
Yeah.
You're heading to the
Yeah.
tavern
Yeah.
with Lose Astrogoth. Cassia and Orlandis headed south on Red Hill.
Castia will kind of kneel next to Orlandis and try to tend as best she can to him while he's projectile vomiting out his possessor. I'm going to assume she has no idea what's happening other than the fact that he's just vomiting everywhere.
Gotta delete that.
Oh.
video.
After he's done vomiting, Orlandis will say, I'm fine.
You don't look fine.
It is okay now. Now, does Orlandis remember where we're going?
You didn't hear any of the things that she was saying, other than the times where you heard her speaking. So you actually, for you, it was like the last thing you saw was the well with the mist. There was that flash like moment as you passed Lose, and now you're in Cardend. You think as you kind of look around, you're on the road that leads to the Balfield's house.
Okay.
But again,
Gotcha.
how this all happened, like, no idea. Your legs feel
Yeah.
like they've been walking as you reclaim them, but again, you aren't sure how it came to be or what happened in between now and then.
Gotcha. Putting two and two together, he's gonna assume we're going to Bathild, but he's gonna ask Castia, what are we doing? We're going to Bathild, yes?
Are you sure you're okay?
I am fine now. I was not before.
What? I mean, yeah, you were vomiting. I understand, but you're the one that suggested we go.
Okay. Let us inform Bathild that you are safe. And then from there we will go back to the tavern.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Those of you who get back to the tavern. Whoa, what was that?
What was?
Oh, sorry. I knocked my computer.
So we stopped in front of Red Hill, or near Red Hill.
Well, Red Hill's the name of the road. I'll go ahead and put a
Oh.
marker on there. Give me a second. But those of you who got back to the tavern, what you doing?
Ordering a drink. And breaking the news to Albrecht.
Well, you said there were a bunch of their forces up there, though.
Fair lot of them, and they're rebuilding a ship or disassembling it and maybe putting it back together.
Highly unlikely that they had many aboard the ship that they dropped off. That means they have to be supplementing with people from somewhere else.
Not sure where they'd be doing that.
When you were at Sepulture's Barrow, did the forces look light?
Actually, they kind of were, right?
No, there were actually. I think he said during the sort of recovery of the ship, there were like hundreds of individuals there.
At the
No,
recovery
no.
of the
In
ship.
Sepulture Barrow,
Oh,
it was light
We-
whenever we were in the Barrow, but it was heavy over by the ship.
yeah, we didn't get to see them. So we can only estimate as to how many there were.
That's fair.
And by estimate, I mean
But there wasn't like any in the actual
barrow.
not the barrow, but the manor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we didn't run into any in the barrow and the manor, and we did not run into any on the way back.
Sorry, I was confusing Sepulchre's Barrow and the Forge.
Both bad
Okay.
places. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, Glint is going to get himself a drink and go see James Abbott in that order.
James is in the basement. Would be Albric's statement.
So he gets his drink, kind of raises it to all his teammates, and then wanders off into the basement.
Where are they pulling the forces from, though? It must be one of the forts, right?
Could be. There were the other ships though. Whenever the one came down by, fuck, what's her name? Renilda? Right?
Yes.
What's her name? Renilda. Because there were the 3 Denisotvan ships and the 1 conglomerate one.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Oh. It was just a
Conglomerate.
really big
Denisotvan ship. So
okay, here
two
they are.
conglomerate ships were chasing down the one Denisotvan ship. They shot
And
it
then
down,
one
and it crashed into Renilda's house. And then a massive ship came down from the mountain to the north and shot down one of the conglomerate ships, and then the other conglomerate ships disappeared.
okay.
We need to get them ships, man.
They used their band
So many
travel.
fucking ships. Alright.
Just need one good ship. One.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh,
Conglomerate
indeed.
ship. I just put a C by
Is that a
it.
goal of ours? He says
What?
to Orlandis. Albric says.
Orlandis isn't there.
Oh, sorry.
That was out of character.
Sorry, I wanted to make it in character. Would have been interesting.
Oh, did we get back while they're having? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because that is definitely a goal.
Fair.
I
It just wasn't voiced in character, so I'm not really entertaining it right now.
got you.
That's fair. So the one gigantic ship.
Yep.
And then this. Maybe that's where they're coming from? Not
Well,
really sure.
Again, the larger ship came out, shot the
And then
conglomerate
disappeared.
ship. The conglomerate ships, the other ones disappeared. And then
Yeah.
it didn't disappear. It dropped off a small craft to the crash site and then went back up the mountain. You know, when I say small craft, I'm talking like, maybe 20 people at most. Were kind of dropped down there.
But it could potentially drop more of those.
No, it just dropped the one.
We could
and
have.
then it left.
Yeah. But I mean, when we didn't see it.
Fair.
Yeah, they could be coming from the forts. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been keeping too heavy track of them. I probably should be doing that better. Been kind of busy running around.
Well, again, it's up to you. And more specifically, Orlandis, what you're planning on doing.
Well,
Yeah.
he's
Noticed an uptick in patrol since what you did, but I think it's the same group. I'm not for certain.
they got him running 24/7. Then they gotta get tired at some point,
Yeah, you'd think.
unless they made them undead, and they can just keep going.
Don't know all the horrors that they use, but yeah, perhaps.
I mean, they had that tree down in there in the basement.
You'd mentioned something about that. don't understand what's going on at the Lakoi Manor either. If you can get back in, that would be great, but again, your plan was to go in there with people, and all we have are the agitators.
Yeah, because the people that we were looking to bring back, they're all gone.
Yeah. Well, only folks that I think that would be interested in fighting aren't terribly keen on us, but you'd have to go into Marshtown.
Hmm.
Could be helpful, though.
Something you can do, I suppose.
Could give it a shot.
Rally who you
have
can
to
here
talk.
in Midtown. According to Glenn's friend, the Hawk Roost people aren't terribly interested.
I didn't think that they would be, to be perfectly honest. They kind of keep to themselves. But yeah,
So-
we can.
I was going to
Once
ask.
Orlandus gets back, we'll talk to him about it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of playing out. Glenn, you said you were going down into the basement to talk to James.
Yeah.
You kind of step down into the space, and dimly lit. James is sitting at the table, kind of looking at the map. Kind of looks like he's puzzling something out.
The one that I made?
He looks up at you and just kind of nods, like, acknowledging your presence, and still kind of looking at the map.
Clint walks over with his drink in hand, sort of looks at what he's working on.
It's a weird game they're playing. But it has nothing to do with me. I'm not terribly interested in it.
Are you talking about the Denisovans?
No, the Hawk Roost folk.
Oh.
They're not really interested in much other than moving.
Moving? Like leaving the area?
They have plans.
Hmm.
Fortunately, they're not here. They're of the opinion that if they can find a perch on the mountain, they can strike out against the Denisovran fort high up at the root of the river.
You talking about the Black Rock?
What's that?
The Black Rock?
No. He would note the. Oh God, where are my notes? Mountain. He would be referencing the Mount Chardon,
Hmm.
which is this big ass fucking mountain here.
Oh, and where are we currently?
Here.
Okay.
Remember the big ass airship descended down the mountain,
Right.
and like the hexes, just so we're kind of getting an understanding of spatial. It's about 14 miles north.
Well, from the brief interaction I had with them, they seemed like capable folk. I was hoping they'd be more generous.
They seem to be very much acknowledging that they have the same problem with the Lakoi that I do. All attempts to intercept or to engage them have been on the Lakoi's terms.
That's fair.
And apparently Master Lakoi is quite powerful.
Yes.
Charlie Brown like a bitch.
Mm,
He was a cat. He was playing with his food.
Very accurate.
He's just afraid of guiding bolt.
Yeah, he's really scared of it. That's why he left.
the only one of them that seems to be in any position of vulnerability would be the grandfather, but they seem to be indisposed and best left alone. And I think disturbing their rest only runs the risk of releasing him.
That was that crypt we saw on the north side, right?
Yes.
It's a pretty small building. That would mean if
Yes, but it was sealed with holy symbols.
It's more for the thing inside than the thing out.
Right.
I feel like we could have taken Grandpappy.
So if we were to attempt to, for lack of a better term, assassinate him,
Why
it
would
would
they have
involve-
unbound it?
Well, I didn't have a chance to.
No, not you. Them.
No, well, I didn't have a chance to fully decipher the symbols, so I can only assume that something in that binding ritual is preventing them from doing so.
Then it's a non-issue. We don't need to mess with
Right.
it.
Right.
What if? What if Grandpappy doesn't even like the grandchildren or the Lycoi, the current Lycoi?
Oh man, that is a long shot, and I'm so glad you're not saying that in person.
It's such a long shot, but I feel like it's still a good shot.
No, that is not what a long shot means.
What if he's like, "Oh, I hate them."
Have you ever heard of a Hail
You're
Mary?
interrupting my conversation.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, the Lycoi know that we have a means of reaching them.
Based on the book,
They-
they have an understanding of your associates' movements as well.
Right.
It probably won't be too long until they reciprocate in kind.
Right.
If they do so, they'll be doing so on their terms at night.
Yes. I still think our best option is probably to go in during the day with as many individuals as we have. And I think the biggest obstacle will be that shield guardian. I think if we can go in during the day, deal with the shield guardian, and at the very least, make short work of the rest of his coven while they are sleeping, that would
I don't think we're going to catch them off guards again.
no, I think we had one chance and we messed it up. Still think, much like before, if we went in during the daytime and managed to get rid of that shield guardian.
I'll be honest, I'm willing to cut my losses here. But
And retreat?
The problem here is that, I'll be honest, in the past, Glint, if I was killing a monster, destroying some sort of evil patriarch or something to that effect that was blessed with dark gifts, it was because that they were being a tyrant, lording over people who did not deserve that, treating them as cattle, using them as fodder. The problem is that the governing body here in this place is in league with them. It's different. It's hard to
Right.
fight a monster that is also in league with a monster of a society. So for me, I'm of a mind to just cut my losses, head back to Stormloft, and get back to work on normal things. It was a risk coming out here in the first place.
Hmm.
And based on what I was able to pick up from Albrecht, my chances of getting back are narrowing. For what he says, to the north, there's a civil war going on in the lands known as Levidia. The riders of Ionis, some powerful cavalry force, are sieging Penford, the large city that has ports. Finding a way out's not going to be easy. Some folks have said try Ordris, but the weather isn't great there.
The only thing The only things of use we found in the forge were these, and he would show him the magic rapier and parrying dagger he found. It's not much.
They may benefit you. Again, it seems like whoever stays here will probably be best served by these items since they're of this place. I just don't know if I'm interested in joining a rebellion.
I don't blame you.
Normally, I'm the one who's state-sponsored.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm not yet ready to abandon these people.
Well, it was because of them you were able to come back into contact with me. I do owe them a fair bit for that. But again, I don't think I don't think saving my life means that I have to throw it away.
No, of course not. I wouldn't ask that of you. But
I'll think on it.
perhaps instead of moving on or leaving the area on your own, it might be best if, for the time being, you stick with the Hawks.
A consideration.
There is safety in numbers, after all.
It's a consideration.
Because if you were to leave on such a journey on your own,
I'll be honest though, as far as danger levels go, I would rather stay here with you in the muck of this small little town than be willingly interested in flying up a mountain. Especially if their magic is as strong as I think it might be. That's what the Hawkhurst folks were saying. They're saying that they use old magics, ancestor magics.
yes, it is my fear that our window of opportunity is quickly closing, but we are not yet strong enough to confront them.
I'm going to sleep on it. If you make an effort for the Lycoy house again before tomorrow, I'll accompany you. Otherwise, I will make a decision and determine what I'm planning to do. And I'll make sure you know first thing.
Very well.
He points at the map and kind of points at the forts. It definitely feels like, at least tactically, the positioning of these forts and why they're holding them is significant. Whatever they're keeping at bay, though, from the south, I have no idea.
So out of character, he's referring to like the mustering of forces in the area.
Fort Carver and Fort Cleaver are two old forts on the south side of Cardend that are dilapidated, not exactly, extravagant or strong, that the Dennis Ottman forces have put all of their military into, despite there being alternatives that are in the town that will prove better.
And to the south is just like open ocean.
To the south is forest and then plains and then kind of like, desolate ground between like beach and grasslands. Quite wide open swaths of like deserty kind of sands.
Yeah, but it's not that much.
A few miles.
But, I mean, it's maybe 2 days on foot.
No, 1 day on foot. You can do 28
Fair.
days or 21 in a day.
So it seems like they're guarding or protecting
I can't say for what.
from something from the south.
I can't say for what.
Yeah.
And Albrecht doesn't know either.
I wonder if maybe Fuck. Astrogoth. I wonder if Astrogoth might be able to learn something through some convenient eavesdropping.
I'm gonna cut.
Best
Or
kind.
perhaps.
I'm gonna cut from our scene, and I'm gonna switch it over to Orlandis Cassia real quick. I'm just going to mention that Ballfield has no new information. The kids are fine. Is there anything that you wanted to engage with her concerning anything in particular,
Ooh,
or was it all ghost driven?
I think it was just ghost stricken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Then I'm going to snap back to everyone kind of re-mustering back at the tavern. By the point that you all re-muster and then head down into the basement to kind of like, do team meeting stuff, James will have left. Now, before that happens, I do want to make sure, Lose Astrogoth, is there anything that you two wanted to do in that kind of span in between?
Enjoy my drink.
Perfection. For you? Oh, you're muted?
Oh, yeah, just enjoy
Okay.
the
But-
drink because there's not really much to do with us all separated.
You're back together. I will say that as far as presence in an NPC sense, Albrecht obviously has to maintain appearances, so he will remain above. And let's see. Why my brain not working? Tell me why brain not work.
I don't know.
Help! I need help.
Yo no sé.
My brain now work. I figured it out. Milo, the dwarf, is in the basement with you, just as a kind of extra party who's kind of hiding out. Milo is the dwarf.
Oh, the cook.
Yeah, and he was also the one who was on the scene with the Kuatoa problem in the lake near the inventor's house. I think as a party, like what you should do is start. And again, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I just figure that we should do something productive. Start thinking about leads. Start thinking about directions. Start thinking about like quests that have been kind of put on the table, and start trying to.
Yeah,
think.
it's just that like all the options that are occurring to me all seem like bad options.
I think
mean,
that they're bad options. I think
they're
the
all wrong.
problem ends up being is that everything seems very time sensitive and it's just picking one of the options. At least
I
to
mean-
me.
I think the main goal is to take out the Lycoid, but we need fucking reinforcements for that.
I mean, we need reinforcements. We need to get stronger. We need more supplies and gear because
We need everything. Okay.
from like an out of character sense, I've had a lot of opportunities.
So I will
for
say
stuff
the mentality
missed.
of we need to be stronger is kind of a really dumb one in my opinion. And I'm not trying to be mean to you, Chad. It is very much a like meta game kind of mentality. I just want to focus on that a little bit so we can kind of dissuade that thought, the train of thought. There's nothing I've thrown out in front of you that is a situation where you need to grind experience to deal with it. That's not a thing that me as a DM wants to see happen because that is the most boring kind of
No,
shit.
yeah, I
So-
understand.
Yeah, just don't focus on the we need to be stronger thing because that's just in my mind like weird. Like
Well, it's more about tipping the scales, and
sure.
so
but again, like
it's like we've
just-
tried other stuff where it's like
just
get
fight.
weapons and equipment.
Well, yeah, no,
That turned up empty.
I get you, and like empowering the people that you have, and you do have some gear, you do have some stuff, but you have a bunch of crew that we haven't even talked to. Like we have function. I'm not trying to call you out specifically. It's just like it seems to be like a thought process that keeps coming up, and in my brain, it's like narratively, getting stronger is like gaining armaments and gaining people, but mechanically, it sounds like you're
Right.
focusing on that, and I don't like it.
No, but I'm saying like we tried the narrative things and those didn't work out, and now we've kind of exhausted those options, and now we have less options to speak of.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hold my thought process there. I'm gonna let you.
Because normally I wouldn't bother trying to negotiate with a succubus because that's historically a bad idea.
Yep.
It's great.
But desperate
She's
times,
pretty.
you know,
I
war
apologize.
makes for strange bedfellows.
I apologize for the judgment. I didn't mean it to sound like a judgment call. The wording was in my mind.
Yeah, I understand, and I was thinking out loud, and that wasn't the complete thought.
Sorry about that.
But I could totally understand how you would feel that way. That's not how I
Okay.
would ideally like to play D&D.
Yeah.
I don't want to treat it like an MMO.
It just. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I apologize for reacting that way.
No, it's fine. I'm just like it sucks because it was like we had good ideas, we just made bad decisions and exhausted those good ideas.
No kiss and make up.
No.
Dang it.
I actually
Share a beer from the desk fridge.
what?
I don't have any beer in the desk fridge.
I was thinking
Why do you have a desk
of you have a desk fridge?
Sorry, I didn't mean to waylay everything. Carry on, John.
Sorry. I mean, I've always wanted a desk fridge, but never mind.
Focus.
I'm
I
living
was
your dream.
thinking, you are. I was thinking about sending a couple messengers, like Danica Wolf. What's the other messenger? Do we need 2 messengers for one mission?
It's up to you.
No, you're the tactician.
No, we don't.
Bam!
I was
He
thinking-
dunked on you.
He
I'm
did.
the idiot that fell out of the sky. What do you?
I was thinking about sending Danica and maybe Sarth and Gunther to Marshtown to see if we can round up or try to meet with potential leaders.
I mean, I'll go for you.
Yeah, but we need you with us.
I'm fucking scared.
It's not about that.
I'll fucking fight.
She will too. It's kind of like her whole thing.
So, we know of the... What's that area? What was the area with the arena? Was it the lakefront?
So it's south.
Uh,
It's in between Midtown and the Barrow.
Yeah.
The Barrow. Okay. I don't know if they're holding like arenas, we could possibly get Lose into that and try to get her to fuck up people to get some renown.
aren't they like fucking gladiator style, like prisoners?
Yeah.
I
they're
think so. Yeah.
killing pests.
So make me a fucking prisoner. All right, that sounds like a great idea. I'm not against it.
Hmm.
Cause trust me, I have thought about that.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's just like going into the arena and whittling down their forces.
No,
Yeah,
it wouldn't.
That's not probably how it would work, but yeah.
It wouldn't make a dent even if their forces were.
This guy's
Yeah.
thinking he's living in Ipmon.
that
10 warriors at once. Haha.
Such a great scene.
Yeah, I agree.
scene was amazing.
Good shit.
He fucked them up.
That's actually
So-
the movie that got my wife into kung fu films. Was
Oh,
those
what?
series
That
of
not
films.
drunken master?
I haven't actually showed her that one yet, but it's on the
You haven't
list.
shown her Drunken Master yet?
It's the best.
Drunken
This is what
Master
Judgment sounds like, John.
versus Legend of Drunken Master. Like, it's complicated. Yeah. I like Jet Li and why my brain can't think of the guy who plays Ipman.
Donnie Yen?
Donnie
Donnie Yen,
Yen. It was on top of my brain. Like, I don't know. Jackie Chan is kind of overly comedic. kung fu martial
That's
artist.
very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also part of his appeal. But he
Fair.
also, his improvisational fighting is timeless.
It's on point.
Elixir is
And he's
so-
an opera singer.
Okay, that's.
I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
know that. Learned
That's
something
pretty
new today.
cool.
He's a Chinese opera singer.
Moving on. Yeah,
Oh,
Glint. Glint just wants to. He wants to get out there and make somebody bleed.
I think going after the Lekoi house again. I mean, you mentioned dealing with the Shield Guardian in the conversation that I wasn't actually there for, but that I think we're maybe thinking about the Lekoi manor too much as we need to go back and clear all of it in one attempt. I think as a rebel force, we would be making multiple incursions to chip away at it as
Right.
best we can, and I mean, they're going to continue to reinforce if we wait too long. So I think it makes
Right.
sense because we have a route there. We kind of know what's in there. It sounded like we needed to get some kind of evidence for James Abbott. So I think that's probably the clearest path at this point.
And I think the first time we encountered the Shield Guardian, we were kind of low on resources. So I think if
Maybe,
if we went that route again and went in during the day, like what time of day is it now?
Probably mid-afternoon.
And it's a bit of a travel to get there anyway. So
Yeah, I mean we can shortcut it because
Actually,
we
you
know.
did rest. It's actually quite close to evening time.
Okay,
That makes sense.
Because 6 hours.
so I think if we tried to take another stab at it in the morning, like if we went in there fresh and rested, we might. I think altogether we would stand a pretty good chance against that Shield Guardian. It's not like those things just grow on trees, unless that's what that tree in the basement was.
poisoned apples do.
I think
Right.
you know better than all of us what the tree in the basement does. You're the one who ate
Yeah,
it.
don't eat those fruit. They're disgusting.
I do not think the Shield Guardian is the main issue. It is the
No, but it is an obstacle.
yes.
It's an obstacle lying between us and a goal that would certainly hamper the Lycoi's. It would diminish their strength greatly. Because take it from me, the only thing worse than one vampire is a bunch of vampires.
I know we've got two. James wanted evidence. There's the tree. Let's head back, deal with the Shield Guardian, try to retrieve Apple and not eat it, and see what having some evidence of there being more than just weird people in that manor can actually do.
If we are
Hawksroost might be
going-
able to figure something out from that.
I want to send some messages out before we go.
Oh, I need to visit the general store.
Okay, yeah, no purchases are fine. Go ahead. Sorry, Jonah, you were talking.
Yes, I wish to send messages with some messengers out. One to Marshtown and then one to the gladiatorial arena.
Okay. And so, what are your messages? What are you trying to relay?
For that, I want to let Albrecht make some messages.
Okay.
Like I want him to try and use his charismatic charm to get some type of leaders in a meeting.
So Albrecht will tell you that we've already played that game with Marshtown.
Okay.
And that's not going to fly. And then he will also tell you that the arena, as we've discussed before, is not under friendly control. So if
Sure.
you go playing games with the arena, it's basically just going to be signifying, play stupid games, win stupid prizes kind of situation.
Got you. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who currently has all the holy water?
The church.
No. Castia made some holy water. I just didn't remember how much she made.
Did you put it in the Google Doc or the Google Sheet?
I know I put up at least 25 silver for it.
That's exactly one.
Yeah, I think
Or
I
25
think I only had I think I only had the spell slots or whatever to only make one. So
Mm.
Right. I'm also pretty low on money, and I know we have some stuff in the treasury that is like miscellaneous art objects.
Yeah.
Um,
it's to general
Have
store
gold in the treasury too.
Oh, okay. Do you guys want me
Log
to?
it.
So, do you want me to, or do you mind if I add the holy water to my character sheet?
go for it.
That's fine.
Not at all.
I'm trying to think right now who we could possibly send some messages to. Because I know we broke the bridge out to Lakefront.
No.
Yeah.
Be
No.
correct. So, focusing on the bridge, you need to kind of look at the larger map. So, we kind of discussed it a couple times, but it's been a long time since we have. So, this area north of Cardent is about 7 miles hexagonally, so it's like a lot more space than you're kind of seeing in that space. There are a number of small waterways that move into the forest area. And as you can see in Midtown, it's kind of in a forested area with a number of different streams running through it.
Yeah.
Marshtown is where a large portion of water collects on the southern side of Cardent. There's one main waterway that comes out of the river and descends into Marshtown proper. The bridge that goes over that small little waterway then leads to a very large bridge which goes over the lake. And I'll go ahead and draw that where that bridge was when it existed. So I'll do so with a bright yellow. So that bridge was actually like this.
Okay.
And the Denisotvan Fort on the other side is where a good number of individuals for the Denisotvan forces were originally placed. And the goal was to kind of stop their supply lines, because it goes from there to the hill, to the mountain, and up. Using the river as kind of like the path alongside the river as a means of kind of trafficking their supplies from the castle up on the mountain down to the forts, the river fort, and then the 2 forts in the forest.
Gotcha. Okay. Yet.
So they can't move goods as quickly as they used to be able to. It's mostly done by ferry now.
Gotcha. And all those ferries are they're guarded heavily, right?
I mean, not more than you would expect, like any kind of patrol or transport supply line wise to be. But the thing is, you've stymied their ability to move goods. The point of cutting off the bridge wasn't to stop it entirely; it was to slow it and cause there to be less kind of means of keeping a larger force on this side.
Gotcha. If that fort is like isolated, no, not isolated, but like if it's slower at getting supplies to the rest of the Denisotvan forces, I mean, it's a big risk, but like, could we possibly take that over? Even with their small numbers?
Which fort? The fort on the other side of the river?
Yeah.
You would presume that it's probably better manned than the ones on this side of it. The ones Carver and Cleaver. And again, you aren't sure where the forces on Blackspear came from, but it's more likely that they came from either Carver or Cleaver than the fort across the river.
Gotcha. We just need more information.
I'm going to find the name in my notes real quick before I keep referring it to as the
one across the river.
the one across the river.
That's not an old Denisotvan turn? No? They don't?
The fort one across the river. That's what it's called, actually. Yes.
That makes sense. Idea.
Verbal component for ancestor magic?
Yes.
That makes
Could be one of those things where it's just been named the same thing but in different languages. Sort of like, I can't remember where it is,
Yeah.
but there's a hill that's literally called Hill 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 in 3
Oh,
different languages.
Yeah.
I love that.
Where it's like when someone says like Kuma Bear, it's literally Bear Bear.
Oh, right. Fort Whitestone. I forgot. I am dumb.
Okay.
I'm not sitting on Whitestone.
It is, actually.
Oh. Looks green to me. No, I'm kidding. What if we starve them out?
That was the other. Yeah, that was the idea.
The Lycois?
Oh no, not the Lycois. The Dennis Avenue forces.
But
The
what
issue-
if we starve the Lycois out?
I don't
And
think they.
then the Dennis happens.
Hmm.
Small scale.
So
to
you're
big
gonna
scale.
starve the Lycoia out by killing all living creatures on this side of the river.
Yeah, I was about to say
Or
like.
we could trap them in.
Well, we better get started. It's going to be a lot of work.
I like the brainstorming. I'm gonna shut up. I do.
You're like, that is a very stupid idea.
I'm not gonna say that. I didn't say that. I would never say that.
Like there are so
Well,
many
if we
things we
release
could
Grand
attempt.
Poppy, then there won't be anything for anyone else to eat. Because I'm sure he's hungry.
We'll murder everyone easily. I'm just trying to think. Like, I'm just trying to think of it strategically. We could try and attempt to go over the river, and then attempt to take that fort and get, their supply line. But then there's the issue of their ships and them just dropping reinforcements on us. We could.
Glint has a map of the Merfolk town. I'm not sure if that could be handy at all. Also, we have previously established that Glint knows who the dead king is, correct?
Oh, right. Dead king.
Yeah. Does Glint know that Raynak is like a psychic entity?
Again, that's fine if you have Arcana trained. Sure.
Okay. Okay.
I do want to stress something though. The thing you have on your head does exactly what it says on the tin. So.
Okay.
I mean, if you are reaching for other powers or superpowers, those aren't going to happen. So just
No.
want to make sure that's.
I mean it.
Okay.
I was gonna attempt to try to use it to perhaps communicate with him.
No, it does exactly what it says on the tin.
We have scouts, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We have 2.
So just remembering who you have. I mean, if you want to focus on them a little bit and kind of make sure you know who's in company. Your allies are, numerous. Not like massive, but there's Albrecht, obviously, who kind of functions as a up front kind of combatant, champion of sorts. He has some spellcastery capabilities as an Eldritch Knight, but besides that, nothing crazy. There's Anusha, who is one of the scouts, for lack of a better term.
No, she's the messenger.
Right. So she's one of the forward kind of people. She is. I said scouts like this.
Oh yeah. Sorry, didn't look at the camera.
She's not like wilderness trained. She's more
Gotcha.
streetly, like a roguish type. That's what I was.
Mm-hmm.
What I was.
Urban scout.
Let's go with that. Ballfields is a fightery type. She functions well with her scimitar and sickle. And then there are her kids, which are Karis, Gunther, Hallis. Karis, Gunther, and Hallis, those 3 specifically, are scimitar users just like their mom. They have a kind of, very specific kind of, fighting style in that they don't have much of a fighting style and just use their swords and their crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Sarth, which would be the 4th child, and we know how he fights. We've seen it.
Like a badass.
Got a cool +1 great axe.
Oh yeah.
Asanti is not too dissimilar from Anusha, in that he is very roguish. There's Ivan, who is one of the scouts, and he is a Goliath, and is probably one of the more capable fighters in the Agitators.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cliver was the other scout, and I think Milo was roguish as well. Kind of bandity kind of dude who's hanging out with you right now. But Cliver's a wood elf. She's not as good at fighting as Ivan, but she's better at actual tracking. Then there's Lana, who is a bit of a spellcaster. There's Milena, who is a very capable fighter. If Lose kind of practices sword fighting with anybody, the only one who kind of keeps to her is Milena. The others are pretty stereotypical. And then Kellen has a brother, or Kellen and Tolan are brothers, and they're just kind of soldiery. They are actually former members of the militia of Cardend, who were kicked out of their jobs and have kind of taken to drinking up until they found purpose with the Agitators.
Have we ever had anyone scout out Fort Cleaver and Carver?
Yeah, you have. They are dilapidated old forts that are maintained by a large number of individuals now at this point.
Gotcha.
But lately, no.
Lately, no? Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason to so far as to say there hasn't been a reason to do so.
Gotcha. I kind of want Cliver and Ivan to go scout those out to see if they moved any forces.
One for each.
With the recent attack.
They'll go do so tonight, and they'll have information back tomorrow morning.
And then I want
Good use of your resources, by the way.
Anusha and Hasanti. I want them to scout out Marshtown.
Okay.
To see what's going on over there, because we honestly have no idea.
Anusha was, if you kind of bring forward this to Santi or Anusha, again, Milo's also there. He's roguish. He's already with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if do you have other plans for him?
I do. I want him to go to Whitestone.
Okay. So then Anusha, when you do contact her to kind of give her this information, she'd say the last time we were in Marshtown wasn't great. One of Bathfield's kids died. So, are you sure you want us to go in there? We will, but we're probably not going to be able to muster up anything besides a hornet's nest of bandits. If you want to go in there yourself and start cracking heads, I'm more than happy to go with you, and kind of gestures to the crew. But just going in there alone, I'm going to be honest, not sure there's going to be much of a result other than I had to run away really fast. So I'm just prepping you for bad news, is what I'm saying.
So then we will save these for another time.
Okay.
When we all go.
That's fine.
Then
I'm not trying to get out of work or anything.
No.
Okay.
I'm okay. Then would you both be inclined to join God, who was the other one that was sitting Milo to Whitestone?
The fort?
Yes.
We can go up the North Road, but it's going to be hard to get across that river. Milo says, "It would be, yes. I think it would be hard to cross the river, but we could do a lot of North Road. Scout out, see if they have a specific area they're loading their ferries, get some information. But we might be able to see if there's larger numbers than we're used to seeing, or smaller numbers than we're used to seeing from the shore of North Road."
The problem with crossing the river?
What's that?
What's the problem with crossing the river?
Have you personally in real life ever tried to cross a river?
That shit's hard.
Not just like a small.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, it's not like a video game. You just keep pressing X until you're across.
No.
Yeah.
How wide is this river?
Yeah, it's probably a good 600
It's a couple.
feet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
600 to 800 feet. Like on the map, it looks like it's miles wide, but I don't know if there are rivers actually that wide. What is the widest river in the world?
Probably the
I
Amazon.
think it's the Amazon.
Denial.
It's the longest.
Yeah, I don't want its length. I don't care about its length. I want its girth.
That's what she said.
Girth.
7 miles is the widest a river is in the world. So it's
Is
probably
it the Amazon?
it is the Amazon.
Nice.
But
7
As
miles.
long as
Wow.
it is wide, apparently.
yeah,
That's where all the danger is.
it's probably not that wide. I'd say at its greatest width, the river in question is probably only about a mile wide. But that's probably closer to. Yeah, it's probably closer to upstream of it.
Okay. So we're getting. Let me just write this down because I should have been writing this shit down. Cliver is going to Fort Carver. Who is the other?
Ivan de Cleaver.
Ivan.
Just
Wait, what was
Ivan.
his name?
Ivan.
Ivan. Sorry, Jesus.
Like ooze.
Ivan Cleaver. And then Anucha and Milo.
And Hasanti are all going to Whitescale to investigate what they can up that way.
And then there was somewhere. Was I sending someone else to
You
somewhere?
wanted to send her
To
to
Marshtown,
Marshtown
yeah.
originally, but she
That's right.
suggested that we go,
Yeah.
which I'm down for.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. We could beat the shit out of people if need be, or find out information.
What, you want to go take control of a couple gangs of bandits?
We don't
Yeah,
want to take control. We just want them on our side.
yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean they need to live under a boot. Just, try to get some friendly, Marshtownians. Try
We're
to
trying to free them from the boot.
I believe they prefer to be called Marshtonians.
Sorry, Marshtonians.
Yeah, you can
Um,
certainly make the argument that it's like, look, even if they're not necessarily bothering you now, it's only a matter of time.
True.
So
'Cause the last-
you'd be best served throwing in with us so we can consolidate our forces and work together.
Yeah.
And then if they want to get tough with us, yeah, Glint would like to go along for that excursion in case violence breaks out.
So the main thing I want to learn from each of these forts is patrols, troop count, and then specifically from the Whitestone Fort, I want to know how much merchandise and foods that they're sending
Okay.
to the other river. Or to the other side of the river.
Got it.
Would there be any benefit to have me scouting out the barrow while you guys are doing this?
I don't think that would be safe. Because I think they know your face.
Well, they do know me as the musician who is going in.
No. They know
The
your face from us going in.
Denisovans.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Denisovans.
They
Yeah, the
don't
Denisovans don't know
unless
his
they've
face.
already been told, which they shouldn't be since it's. No, we did take a rest since then,
So
so it's a toss up.
yeah, I mean, unless the Lycoi went out of their way to communicate that information.
The other issue is that you won't have any backup in
Right.
that place.
Yep.
So you're going to be alone.
Don't
If
split the
shit-
party. Got it.
Like that's the only thing I'm afraid of.
Right. No, I was thinking of that, but
Also, he wanted to live dangerously.
I mean, if you think you could pull it off, I'd say
I do
try to
have
gain.
invisibility as a spell.
Right. And Jonah is the master of striking out on his own.
True that. I feel like if you think you can pull it off, and if shit gets dicey and you think you can get away, I'd say try it. But I think you should take one of our troops with you.
Wouldn't that just make me stick out like a sore thumb? Like, I was going there to perform music, so if I went in by myself, unless they had been told, there shouldn't be any suspicion. And I can also use the knowledge that if they are suspicious, that the Lycoi are in active communication with them, because we don't know
That is
how
true.
information is disseminating out from there.
Yeah, or like what that point of contact is, because obviously they're working together, but it's not clear like what the extent of that collaboration is.
How
Right.
closely?
I
Or how
I think
quickly?
I think you should go perform.
Indubitably.
Like for information's sake, I think you should try to do it. And then we'll probably go to Marshtown. And then unless you want us to wait for you.
No, I just want to kind of do something that I thought would make more sense for my character to help out than to. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glint's kind of short on exploitable resources.
I mean you have that thread. I'd definitely pull that.
Okay. So, for the rest of you, what are you doing for the remainder of the evening?
Should we rest, like, wait for the morning, basically? And to head out to Marshtown? Because I don't
Cassia has
really,
more reading to do, if nothing else.
yeah, I don't think we'd get much at night in Marshtown.
I'd feel more comfortable going in by myself if I was rested.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
though I only use one spell slot, but as a warlock, I only have like 3. So
Do we have sending stones?
No.
Could we buy some?
No. If it's an
Damn.
uncommon magic item, they do come in sets of 2. But
Yeah.
they will not be calling stones, which is more in line with what you're thinking of, which don't exist
Okay.
in this space because you're not in a city. But
Gotcha.
sending stones, I believe, are uncommon.
Yes.
So there's a 50% chance that the shopkeep has it.
Okay.
We might as well check.
But you can only
And
do one uncommon search per 6 day.
And sending stones are only one cast of sending per day. Per dawn.
Sending, while you touch a stone, you can use an action to cast a sending spell from it. Once sending is cast through the stones, they can't be used again until the next dawn.
Right, but if he's
that's
gonna
shitty cell service, to be honest.
True.
if Astrogoth is gonna go in there, if he's gonna try to, work that angle, having sending stones would be incredibly useful.
Well, it has been a
And
6 days
he's in
since
trouble.
the last pull. I don't think there's been a pull yet. So if you want to go ahead and have somebody be the representative, roll a d100. If it's less than 50, then you can buy the stones. If not, then
It's not gonna be me.
Do you want me to do it?
I think he wants anybody besides him to do it.
I mean,
do it.
okay.
So that
Oh, D100.
someone else can be blamed instead of him.
58.
Over 50, so they do not
Damn.
have sending stones on offer.
Poopy
Sorry.
dog.
Oh shit.
You should have rolled it. You roll low.
Sounds like
We-
plan.
We all can't take our hand at it, right? No, just
No,
kidding. We
It's the
can't.
one per. Again, you're not getting a lot of stuff in. It's not like this is not a
Yeah.
vibrant marketplace. Although there is a decent marketplace on North End, which we'll discuss in a bit. But that said,
Can I buy 20 arrows?
yeah, absolutely, they've got those. Pretty much anything.
Somebody should buy lockpicks.
Anything in the player's handbook is in there.
Right.
Okay.
And it has been a 6 day since last go. So if you want to roll me a d6 real quick.
Do we?
20.
I'll roll a d6. I got 4.
So they have 4 healing potions on offer at the general store.
Wow.
But
Do we?
go ahead.
Do we know of any, like, I don't want to say delegate, but like, do we know of any sort of royalty or people in power, I guess, or mild power in the surrounding area
The
that could
Lycoi,
possibly? Fuck.
they run this shit.
They run the shit.
If there is a nobility structure in the Denisov castle on the mountain, it's beyond.
Oh, no. Like, I mean, I guess that's the only real nobility here.
Yeah. So like if you look at the map, the nearest places to you are that fucking fort.
Yeah.
this town, which you don't know, you don't even know what the name of the town is.
True.
And this town, which you don't even know the name of the town.
Yeah.
Again, it's been 10 years, so whether or not those places, and you're not even from here, like if you ask,
I don't know.
yeah, if you ask about them, I mean, they can be explained to you. But I don't think anyone here is a native of Cardin, except for Cassia, but she was born yesterday.
True.
I'm a native of the Feywild.
Yeah, you're kind of from around here. I mean, so you would,
And it's been like 200 years since I've been here.
right. So again, yeah, the name of the
So
town.
we don't know
This
shit.
was a completely different name.
Yeah, but
It
again,
wasn't even a town. There was just a cow in the middle of a field.
just to put it to rights, though, the castle up on the mountain was once known as Castle Blackblade. The small. Well, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh. Chad!
Chad's computer died, I think.
Oh, Chad emo.
Maybe. No, that didn't work. Okay. Well, I'll figure it out here in a second. But
Whoops.
Castle Blackblade, the small little town to the west there that's kind of hidden away is known as Cubby.
Cubby!
And the very large city at the mouth of the bridge before you, again, as you knew it back 200 plus years ago, or 200-ish years ago, was known as, where are my notes? Sea-Watch. And I'll rearrange some folks here. Oh wait, I don't have to. Everybody's right. Okay. So, as I understand it, folks are getting ready to bed down. Astrogoth is going to Sepulchre's Barrow to try and get into End Barrow and see if he can't do some gathering of information. And Cassia, when everyone's kind of resting up in the tavern and inn, are you going back to the farmhouse and sleeping there, or are you staying at the tavern and inn with this group?
I'll probably go back to Balthild's, but also trying to finish my book.
Okay, continuing reading. I would say over the course of the evening, how many hours do you have remaining?
I think 10 since before today.
Yeah, there was a lot of time here today. I would say roll a d10. No, sorry, not that many. Roll a d6 and add 3. So
5 hours. Okay.
5 hours are that's what you're able to complete today, reading wise.
Okay.
With stops on the road and everybody doing other stuff at the end of the day, etc. Okay, so Astrogoth, you make your way down to End Barrow. You do notice that there are more guards at the gate than you used to. What is that?
Chad's computer again.
Stop smacking your computer with your Minecon. It's weird.
Sorry, it's my fucking long ass legs hitting the bottom of this table.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
That makes more sense than your computer making that sound.
When you get there, you do notice that there's a lot more guards at the gate. It also looks like the activity that's normally present in the evening time outside and inside the gates is lax. It's not a very large number of people. The guard sees you approach, kind of raises his hand up and says, the arrangement we had before, it's still fair, but there really aren't many people that are taking to revelry. Not since last night.
Oh, what happened last night?
Master Lycoy came into the town and made some proclamations regarding allowing people into Sepulchre's Barrow. So a lot of the people from the forts aren't allowed to come in. We're allowed to maintain a position here at the gate, but folks aren't really allowed to go in. Not even in, just points just to the building right there. Not even for that. You might see some locals in there, but as I'm sure you are aware, and you would know, it's mostly Dennis Hopkins, that fair.
Well, I mean, coin is coin. Might as well see. I mean, if anything, I can chalk it up as practice. So, if it's all right with you, I'd like to.
Not a problem. And it lets you in. And you do note that shortly after you're kind of making your way into the steps, you do look back over at the guard, and you do see that there's an individual who looks like they're of a higher rank than the guy you just spoke to. Kind of comes up and starts talking to that specific guard, and you would have noticed that he kind of watched you as you made your way that way, probably asking questions about you. You enter into the space, and it's as you remember it. There's the guy who kind of acts as a bouncer effectively,
Right.
and then the ogre rather, and you make your way down into the space, and there's just a single individual sitting there behind the bar, kind of looking bored, as she could be. And
Behind the bar, as in like she works there, or like the only patron there.
she's behind the bar, so yeah, she is definitely someone you've seen kind of serving and also acting as a bartender, barkeep. She's normally a server, but it looks like the people who normally kind of run the space they don't care who's in charge.
Right. I guess I'll go sit up at the bar with her and then say, be something along the lines of, the guard wasn't kidding. It is dead in here. Well, maybe you'll have more luck getting coin than I will tonight. And I'll slide her some money so I can get a drink.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, the normal fare aren't allowed to come down here, and it seems like a lot of them are headed up north.
North? What's got their attention up there?
Well, I'm not certain. The folks that were in here last night were talking, and then one of their, the guys with the red hats, the bright kind of red feather hats.
Yeah, the funny hats. I know those guys.
Yeah, he came down and said that they all had to make their way out and head back to camp. I don't know what they were talking about, and then they left. But when they were talking, they were saying that they're moving up to Whitestone, and then on from there. Not sure what's going on, but it's kind of like that one time they it's kind of like the time that they took Cleaver back from the orcs. About a year ago, 2 years ago. Well, you haven't been here that long. But
No, I haven't. I don't know about that.
yeah, the forest orcs took the fort from the small force that they had down there. They fought them, took the fort back from the orcs, and they've kept most of their soldiers there in those two forts to the south, due to them. But it's kind of like that. They're mobilizing like that,
No, definitely seems like someone's upset the hornet's nest then.
Yeah, kind of sucks. But I think the boss said the last time this happened was only about a month. They weren't hanging around, and luckily, we've seen it before, so we kind of have a lot of stock, and we have a lot of food and such to keep us through it.
I do. Your present party excluded, though. I think if it's going to be at least a month, that's I need an audience to play for, so I may end up finding my way out of here sooner than later. But I do thank you.
Oh, of course. And if you end up back around in Cardend, feel free to visit. You're great at what you do. And I'm sorry there isn't anybody here. She kind of fumbles the coin you gave her into a bag. It kind of stops for a second, holding half of whatever coinage you gave her, slides it back over to you and says, I mean, if you want, you can play for me for the time being.
Sure, I guess one last song for the Barrows here isn't a horrible idea.
Spend a little time kind of playing music for her. After
I
Go
I
ahead.
do want to position myself so I can see the doors, only because I am weary of that individual who was being talked to. So I would like to. I don't want to be suspicious about it, but I definitely want to be. I want to know if anybody else comes in.
For certain. So after playing your song, and finishing your drink, the presumption is you'll kind of mosey on out and head back to Midtown, or you got another plan?
No, I'll head back.
Okay, cool. So you'll arrive before like night is full on set. Okay. And to be certain, Lose, you are staying in one of the rooms upstairs. Alice or Orlandis, you're staying in the green room or the blue room. Sorry.
I thought I just like chilled in the basement.
Do you want to be in the basement?
I don't really sleep.
Yeah, they gave you a room, but like if you don't like to keep your stuff and shit.
Oh, I guess I'll stay there.
But yeah, if you don't want to hang out there, I mean, where would you be in the middle of the night?
Well, if
Basement?
I have a room in the room.
Okay. And Astrogoth, you have a room as well. It's right across from the Albric's room, the red room.
Red rum. That's not troubling at all.
Someone has watched Twin Peaks. Then Glint, you have a room upstairs as well. And
Nice.
it is the one that's kind of furthest away from the others, since you were the most recent addition. And Balgar had a room that would have been next to the room you are now in. I'm going to go ahead and move the map. Hold on a second here. Oh, no, I don't have it right. Sad. Hold on. Bear with me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this very quickly, so I'm just going to try and go with it. Dynamic
I
lighting.
believe in you.
I'm just going to live my... Okay. Let's see.
You can do it.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, that'll work.
I can't see shit.
It's dark and you're asleep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna change.
There is a group.
I'm gonna change the music. Those of you who are not sleepers, it's really just Lose, right? Everybody else does actually sleep. So, like you've done a dozen times before, you hit the hay, and I would like for Lose to go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, shit!
My God.
I am not great at that.
None of
Oh
us
wait,
have
that's
been.
the wrong one. That's persuasion. That one.
Oh no.
I persuade them to let me perceive them.
Let
Yeah, I
me
would've taken
see
that
you,
first roll.
beast.
If there are inspirations to throw, you rolled a. We're gonna stick to your first roll. I know it was the wrong check, but it's not hard to shift it. So just -3 off the 21.
18. That's pretty
But
good.
that's a charisma.
No, I understand, but if you look at the
okay.
modifier, it's +6. So
Yeah.
your
Oh, that's
perception
fair.
modifier is 3. I'm not giving
Oh,
you.
yeah.
If you just clicked the wrong word, I'm not gonna give you. If you'd rolled bad, I would have done the same thing.
Fair.
18 is so good.
Okay, so
18, yeah.
when
I'll take
you
it.
are resting after kind of spending a bit of time going through like your forms and practicing your stances, you notice that there's a light bit of mist that seems to be creeping underneath your door. This is expected, as there isn't much in the way of fog during the autumn months. As we understand, we're kind of in the autumnal kind of time here. So this is definitely not something that's natural.
Yeah, let alone indoors.
That wouldn't be too unprecedented. The windows are not like super sturdy.
Okay.
Mist.
She would kind of go over to the door and put her ear to it.
Okay. Nothing sound wise. Doesn't sound like anything at all, really.
Okay. Then
Just
she'll
Typical
open
sounds.
the door.
You know that there. I mean, it's kind of like the middle of the night, but there's still some people
Mhm.
downstairs.
Yeah.
That
Open
kind
the door to see where the mist is coming from.
So the mist appears to be coming in through this northern window, and it seems to be heading. It seems to have like momentum, heading towards Albric's door,
Oh.
which appears to be closed.
Then she'll go to Albert's door,
Okay.
following it.
Do so. You kind of move through it to get to the door, and bypass it. Well, no, that's Orlandis to the south. Sorry,
Oh, south. I thought you said north.
I might have. I'm pretty dumb. But you move kind of past it to kind of like get to the door, and as you do, you see it kind of retreat backwards a bit, and then kind of stop and kind of plume into an almost humanoid-like shape.
Oh.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, I'm yelling at
Please.
Chad.
These motherfuckers.
The area on the side, party cash and awarded spent, that will automatically add or subtract for you, Chad.
Oh, thank
Did
you.
some
Track
Excel
here.
wizardry.
Yeah. Please use my math.
All right, Elizabeth, I need you to go ahead and do me a
Yeah.
favor and roll initiative.
Yeah.
God damn.
Because we're definitely fighting that, whatever it is.
That Lycoi.
I'ma fight it.
That like koi.
Well, this seems like
Get
a
the
good
laser
hallway
pointer.
for.
Hey, I recognize that kitty.
I
That
have a
seems-
question, DM.
Yeah,
Is she within like 15 feet of me?
you're not conscious.
Your initiative roll is -400, Orlando.
I was thinking maybe she got the bonus, you know?
Wait, why is he up there? Oh, he came from.
This window to the north.
Uh-huh.
He was heading to the south. You moved through him and past him, and when you did so, he kind of flared backwards and then took form. We'll discuss his form in a second. Bear with.
This looks like a good hallway for a duel.
I'm actually not feeling this vibe,
True.
music-wise. I do want to switch it up. I want something more like
A Meow Mix jingle?
Meow Mix jingle. Yeah, I want something more Meow
Meow,
Mix
meow,
jingle.
meow, meow.
Meow Mix jingle. Oh, I found it. Okay, cool.
It's copyrighted, sir.
Yes, I know.
Can't use that.
Hell, we probably just lost every single bit of monetization because we said it several times.
True that.
Rip.
Rich the goat.
Now we have to do the Beggin' Strips commercials
Yes.
to balance it out.
Yes. Okay, you piece of junk computer, I'm gonna fight you, and I'm gonna lose that fight.
I believe in you.
Fighter!
The creature appears before you, and it does not look like the guy you fought before. It definitely looks like a younger individual, and that's not supposed to happen. Okay, and when he manifests, he kind of raises his hands up, kind of like a combat stance, and says, just kind of pointedly, "You mess with my father's work. You die. I'll eat you and you." And that's kind of just like as the fight begins. But since we're the only ones that are currently awake, and we've not made enough sound, either of us, to wake anybody up, it'll just go straight to initiative. If there's anything that happens at the beginning of a fight, you can go ahead and have done that. So if there's like a stance that you're entering into at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Cormorant.
Cormorant, right? Okay, so he rushes forward, kind of cuts in with his claws. Boop, boop, boop.
Meow.
He is going to make a claw attack. 14 misses, right? So he kind of swings his claws inwards, and you kind of narrowly avoid them. Kind of whiffs through your red hair, and then he kind of swings again with the second set of claws. Roll a d100.
Jeez.
D100.
10.
So as he kind of rushes forward and you kind of dodge the first attack, he then kind of straight strikes forward with his claws, kind of like at your chest. You just narrowly kind of move to the side, like it's almost like a dance that you kind of bob back and forth, catching his arm with the basket of your weapon, and then push him like downwards. He falls past you, hits this door on the south side, barrels through it, and his head slams into the toilet. And then as he's kind of coming up from that, like spinning about looking at you, you will pay for this disrespect. And then he's done.
That's where they're supposed to drink their water, right? No?
My cats do all the time.
Drink that toilet water.
It is your initiative. Let's go with Orlandis. Go ahead, make a perception check. You have disadvantage
Okay.
and minus 10 because you're asleep.
Gotcha.
And then, so yeah.
2 19s.
That's going to be a failure. And then roll just a d20. This is for Albert.
Ooh, 2.
He is a heavy sleeper as well. Okay, so let's say it's your initiative.
Are you
Oh, sorry.
challenged?
Astrogop, you had gotten back and had gone to sleep. Go ahead and make a perception check as well. You're right next door.
Okie dokie.
I believe in you.
Well, that's your first mistake. Yeah, I was gonna ask if, like, maybe since I had just gotten back.
I'm not giving you the disadvantage. I'm just rolling with the minus 10. Okay.
Dang.
So since you don't have disadvantage, if you
You
want to, someone could spend inspiration and get the.
I still
20.
have inspiration. from
If you
last
want to,
time.
you can.
Yeah, I just have to make another music pun at some point.
Okay. So as you kind of are just getting to sleep, your ear perks up and your eyes kind of like slightly filled with crust kind of open up as you hear kind of like a loud wooden thunk and like splash in the toilet as if someone fell into it or someone took a massive like dump.
Well, the dwarf's not here, so I don't know what that was.
But during the next initiative, so once Leslie's done, you'll roll initiative. During that first round, you'll be surprised, and then into the next round, you'll be able to operate.
Okay, hold
Okay.
on. Shoot.
So Leslie, go
Might
ahead.
need to see a doctor if they're making that big of a dump.
And to be sure,
Um,
has stepped up and out.
Are you then challenging me to a duel, or are you just fighting
Ooh.
like a street rat? And then she'll take a stab at him.
Okay. That will
17
hit him.
for
And
8.
Bear with me here. And the weapon is magical, correct?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, you didn't do the. What was it called? The duel thing?
Oh, I just asked him if he wanted to duel.
Oh.
Oh, are you gonna use your ability though? That's important.
Well, I have to initiate a duel first.
Yeah, what's the ability you have that says you automatically do it though?
I don't automatically do it.
I thought you had one you did it on the Wraith guy, the murderer man.
Oh, you mean the spell? Compelled to duel?
Yeah. Click that one.
That?
Was that what you did to the guy on the bridge?
No.
I thought you had a duelist class feature.
I think she's just like, hey, yo, bitch ass wanna fight? I think that's.
I think that's what I
Duelist-
did. and
Oh,
he
right,
Yeah.
right,
took
right,
it.
right. That's fair. So this ability is, yeah, it's different but similar. It doesn't put you into Danger Dice Town though.
Yeah.
Again, he will
I.
take the 8.
It's Challenge of Steel.
Click that. What does that do?
Wait, that was the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's the one. Once on your turn as a free action, you can issue a challenge targeting one creature that you can perceive. We'll say that's what you
And
just did with that
that's what I
statement. Okay.
was trying to do.
Yeah. Again, you didn't say the name of the
Sorry.
ability. I'm not all knowing. I wish I were, but I'm not. So then that would be a wisdom saving throw, and then what would be the DC with the numbers you got
DC
there?
equal to 8 plus proficiency bonus, and that would be
Plus charisma modifier.
3. So 11.
You said 11? What's your charisma modifier?
13 or 3?
14. It'd be 14.
16.
So yeah, 8 plus 3 proficiency is 11. Plus your charisma
Yeah.
modifier on top of that.
Charisma modifier.
Yeah, what's your charisma
It's
score?
not 16.
Plus 3 is the modifier, so we're looking at
Yeah.
a 14 DC. So he will
That's-
fail.
Wait, where's the other 3 coming from?
Your proficiency
8
bonus.
plus proficiency plus charisma modifier. Proficiency bonus is a 3. Charisma modifier is a 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he is engaged in a duel. So that would happen before you attack him. So bear with me here. Then it would immediately enter a duel. So great. So before your turn actually happens, before you make that attack, I'll go ahead and give my 8 hit points back. Sorry. We're learning together. Because I know how a duel works. It's just one starting in the middle of a fight is a little different than me forcing you into an arena and making you do it.
Yeah.
Great, but now we're in that. So at the start of this duel, then, we would have a stare down now. The duel enters now. So go ahead and pick a number between 1 and 6 in your head, okay? And I'm going to not cheat. I'm going to do the same thing that I do for my normal stuff. He's in a duel. I have typed a number in the chat. I'm going to drop my hand and hit the enter button. You don't have to type anything. You just have to say it. When you say it, I'm dropping my finger.
3.
So I voted for 4, which means he gains 3 danger dice. And you have the watchful stance. And I am in a decisive stance, which means your turn actually ends. And I go now. So for the sake of the duel, the initiative has rotated into the round where Ashergoth is not conscious. Understood? You basically took the 6 seconds of him falling and splashing around and challenging him to the duel to basically lock him into the duel. And so since you lost the initiative, not lost, it's not really losing, since you moved into the lower portion of the stare down in the duel, you're going after he is going in the first round of the duel. So he's going to angrily, yes, I'll duel you, bitch! And he rushes forward with his claws,
Harsh.
very, very angrily and very, very decisive and horribly, and will swing with his weapons. Miss. So as you kind of like, okay, he rushes forward to the claw, you kind of just bat it with your hand, knocking his hands astride, and it looks like his claws are kind of grown a bit since he fell in the toilet, but not to a point where it matters. Anyways, his initiative concludes adjacent to you, and kind of just like a feral-looking face, water and probably bits of paper on his face as he kind of rushes into you and tries to claw you, and you kind of are focused in this cormorant stance. Your turn starts for the first round of the duel. And for initiative purposes, Astrogoth, just so you understand tierically, since there's a duel and they operate in a stare-down positioning, they will operate for you always above initiative, and then initiative will happen.
Okay.
Also, don't forget, if you noticeably help them, the people dueling, or harm the other duelist, whoever you help or harm, depending on what you do,
it's cheating.
gets danger dice.
Right. I remember.
Yeah.
I attempted to make that mistake before and was corrected.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can certainly do it, and it might swing the fight, but it will be seen as dishonorable, and you might get scolded by Lose after.
True.
She will fight you.
But she'll be alive.
Challenge your ass to a duel next.
Fair. Just something they can throw away. So yeah, your full turn.
Okay.
And again, he has 3 danger dice on him. So
23.
23 will hit, And this is not a fatal strike. You're just going for a regular attack, right?
Just regular attack.
That'll hit. We'll go ahead and use the damage from the first time you made an attack and hit. And then we'll use yep, got 11 there. All right. So he takes both hits, kind of reflexively. And if you're not finishing him off, you still have a bonus action if you'd like to take it. If you don't have anything, that's fine.
I do not currently.
And no movement. Okay.
No.
So outside of the dueling round goes to the initiative round. Astrogoth, you're the only one on it. And as I said, you're surprised. You're kind of still waking up. And you can see the shadows of the fight kind of underneath the door, like moving about. You can hear
Right.
the creaking of the fight. You also heard his expletive or like his, angry thing. But during your surprise round, I will allow you to step up out of bed. Other than that, you're just
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
groggily getting up. And then we go into the second round of our duel. Stare down. Same situation. I am typing a number. I'm typing it in the thing, and I have my hands up.
3.
So he is very, very angry and very, very focused. So he is pushing. So that means he's going to gain 3 more danger dice, putting out a total of 6. And he will be going first. So in that initiative round, he's going to swing again with his claws. He will hit you once.
Okay.
And he will grapple you as well as a part of that attack. You'll take a total of 8 slashing damage as his claws kind of flare across your chest and then kind of his fingers grasp at your neck. He pulls you in close and then he's going to try and bite you.
Ooh.
13 will miss. So as he's kind of coming up, you kind of raise the sword up in between his face and your neck and kind of bat him in his teeth. And then it goes to the second, the watchful position in the duel. So you are up.
To get ungrappled,
Well,
it's a
all grappled means for this fight, just so you're aware, is that your movement speed is 0.
Yeah.
And he can bite you while you're grappled. Those are the only
Right.
2 things that are going to happen here. Other than that, there's no penalties or any effects while you're in this kind of positioning. He's just holding you by the neck, so you can still stab him with a sword or what have you.
Oh, okay.
You can
So
use
it's
your
not like
action-
a normal grapple.
Well, it is like a normal grapple. That's how grapples work.
I
They're
thought that you got
restrained. I think that's because you were watching Hell's Moth. That guy has some things that make grapples insane. So do not. Yeah, and also I think you saw Nama back in the Chad game from yesteryear. So these people do not grapple normal. Normal grapple is just 0 speed, and then for this vampire specifically, it entitles him to bite you. But you can also use an action to escape it, but it's your whole action to do so. Or you could, if you have a means of teleporting, move away from him by teleportation.
we're just gonna stab him.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Boom, boom. Both of those will hit. First one for damage, 10.
10 and 6.
6. All right. He is now officially bloodied.
What a little bitch.
After the stare down cycle, it'll go to the real initiative round. Astrogoth, you're up.
So there's a door between my room and that room, right?
Yeah, well, that hallway, correct.
Okay. So I'm thinking what I want to do, and you can tell me if this would take multiple turns, but I imagine my first reaction would be to go open the door and see what's going on. And then what I would like to do immediately after is essentially run out into the hallway and then shed out for Orlandis and
Sure.
Blint.
So, opening the door opens inwards because, bedroom.
Right.
And when you open it, the thing you'll see is kind of like the side flank / back of Tabaxi with his hand grasping Lose's neck. They're kind of blocking off. Is that door open? It's not, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, so you can see out there. So you're kind of here, you open up the door, you can see, those folks. And yeah, it's definitely kind of crowding the space. But you said you're just going to kind of try. I would say you can't get past him because he's obviously hostile unless you have some means of teleportation.
Which I do not.
Okay, so you kind of rush out and just start yelling out over them. Is that fair?
Sure, why not? Or would that be considered helping the duel?
It's
in some-
not. You're kind of. I mean, no, that's not helping. So I need Glint and I need Orlandis to both roll perception checks. You have minus 10 still, but the advantage is no. There's no disadvantage. Okay.
19.
So 9. Okay. Yeah, you both sleep. Actually, no. Orlandis. Sorry, 9 is 8 with the DC. So you wake up. So go ahead and roll your initiative, and we'll put you on the counter. It's going to be a similar sequence to how Astrogoth got up. But a free action to shout. Is there anything else you wanted to do, Astrogoth?
There's not much I can do right at this moment. And I figured that given I'm still probably tired and whatnot, that's probably all I can really muster at this point.
Perfection.
I would not have advantage, right?
No.
On initiative? Okay.
Well, yeah. Why not?
Well, I only got advantage from Castia. And
Yeah, but it lasts until the next combat, so
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm good.
Go.
if you get into another fight before I see you again, then you're...
Dueling round 3. I'm going to put my vote in the thing. I have it. I'm really, really mad about it.
5.
See, the fun part about this mechanic is once you figure it out and can kind of tell what your opponent's going to do, it's very easy to kind of mechanically function into.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is very, very angry. He is not a duelist. If John knows how to play the game, but then I have to enter these like higher tiers of. But does he know how? No, he does not. So he is angry, decisive, leaving himself open to opportunity. He's now up to 11 danger dice. At the start of his initiative round, you'll watch as one of the wounds kind of fully closes shut on him. Vampires regenerate. And so he is no longer bloodied.
You're gonna be dead in a minute.
We'll see.
He sure will.
We will see. He is going to go and just swing and bite. All right. So he does hit with this claw. He does a total of 5 slashing damage. And then he swings with the bite. Go ahead and make a D100 roll.
And
Since I'm making this more of a goofs and a gas kind of thing, I kind of like the fumble for him. Yeah, okay.
26.
So as he kind of like got you by the neck, he swings his arm wide and kind of claws you across the cheek, and then he kind of rushes in once you've turned your neck to kind of bite at your neck. At that point, though, you kind of shift your weight backwards, pulling him forward, and his head's kind of swinging like this. So as it does, though, he just eats face, like smashes it into the wall, and as you kind of hear that crunching sound of like, vampiric force throwing a face into a wall, he kind of turns his face back to face you, and you see one of his fangs just drop out.
Oh, poor kid.
You hear Astrogoth go, ooh!
Let's say at the bottom of the dual cycle.
Doing a little bit of the same.
Step.
Oh. 14.
Do you want to spend inspiration on the 14 or no?
I don't have
Does
it.
anybody want to spend inspiration on the 14?
I don't
have
think
any.
I got any.
What was that, Chad?
I don't have any.
Nobody has it anymore?
Okay. That's fine.
No.
I thought I gave it to you one time, Elizabeth, but
Yeah, I spent it on someone else
Oh.
last time.
gotcha. Okay, so and to be sure, before we get into the damage, I'm not looking.
And
Do you want to fatal strike him or no? He has 11 danger dice.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll 11 d6.
Fuck him up. Fuck him
Fuck.
up. Yes, queen.
11 d6 31.
Okay,
Mm.
so as he kind of smashes his face back and kind of moves it,
Oh no.
kind of pull the rapier up and strike straight true into his throat. You hit pull and rend aside and cut his head clean off.
Mm.
The duel is over, but we're still cycling through the fight. So it goes to Orlandis.
I'm surprised.
Okay, so you're getting out of bed. Astrogoth, you are not surprised. You are conscious. I'm going to go ahead and give you a free religion check if you have it trained. If you don't, then not.
I do not.
Okay, then operate as you would.
I thought of something kind of funny that I think someone would do who doesn't fully understand how vampires work in terms of regeneration. And after she cuts his head off, I want to kick his head away from his body.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength attack. This would be unarmed attack. So you're rolling with proficiency. So strength plus prov. Okay. So you kick the head, and what's your strength modifier?
1.
Okay. It moves underneath Losei's feet instead of kind of like close to where it was, but it stops. Like it's rolling, and then you watch as there's like this magical force that kind of locks it in place.
Step on it!
You're like, what the heck? And then at the top of the initiative, again, we are no longer in a duel, so we're reverting to initiative count. Again, for all intents and purposes, Losei, you won the fight. So the duel rules are
100%.
over. It's just that he cheats. Orlandis, you are conscious. So you do hear the sound of the fight. Probably a nice sickening splatter at this point as the head kind of probably spun out with a bit of blood.
Okay. So, with, what happened, can Orlandis logically assume that it would be a vampire, or no?
You can overthink it all you want. What are you doing?
I mean, he's gonna go outside and see what the fuck is happening.
Sure. You see that Losei appears to be standing over the corpse of a tabaxi. Why did you go to the wall on the left side?
I don't see anything. I don't see the map.
Oh, right. It's dark.
It's darkness.
So then you probably spend a turn getting a candle lit. To be completely fair.
That's fair.
And then you can move in addition to that. So candle, low light.
It's like 5 feet, right?
10.
5 feet. Oh, 10. Okay. Aha!
You rush
Okay.
out. He just moved through the window on the left side.
My bad, yo.
He just
My
fucking
bad.
jumped down a window. I can't see. Do you see them?
I have to move right.
There you
I think right here is 30 feet.
Yeah. So you come up behind Losei and you watch the head get kicked by Astrogoth and kind of stops. And then your action was lighting the candle. So it goes to it. Its head rolls back to it. You watch as the hand kind of sweeps across the ground from its fallen body and kind of grabs a hold of the head. And then just as it's kind of rising up, kind of puts it back on its neck. You can see these kind of like reddish colored strings kind of form in between the flesh. And as it stands up, it seems to have rectified its death problem.
Oh, fuck.
Cut his fucking head off.
Again.
Got it.
Stab him
You
in
got
the
this, Losei.
fucking chest.
It will attack you. We're no longer in...
Take this opportunity to point out I gave each of you 3 wooden stakes specifically to kill fucking vampires.
Yeah,
Sure.
we remember. But would she have those on her, or would they be in her gear in the room? These are great questions. We don't have the answer to them right now. Let me continue slashing Losei.
She wasn't expecting a fucking vampire.
Oh, nobody
Sure.
was expecting a fucking vampire. That's why I did it.
Or even if you were, you weren't expecting it to be such a bitch.
I mean, I was,
Also true.
but she wasn't.
Its head kind of stuck on there. It kind of swings the first blow, and you actually see the neck kind of pivot on the neck stem, like as if it's not fully connected, and this causes the attack to swing wide. Then it brings its second attack in, kind of grabbing a hold of its own chin and kind of holding its head in place, and it lashes across your chest. You take 8 points of damage, and as the claw marks kind of dig into your flesh, it then kind of reaches up and grabs a hold of your shirt, drawing you inwards. And as it's doing so, the tooth that you knocked out, you can actually see is slowly coming out of the gum.
Mm.
Astrogoth, you know the duel rules are over. Like, You're a man who is understanding of tradition and the techniques that she uses. There's no longer a dual rule in place. So as you
Lose is also looking at
fucked up. What are you at? Damn, I
What?
chatted you. Fucking do it.
Because I haven't regenerated all my hit points yet. So
Yeah, you
it's down
didn't get a
4.
full long rest. I know.
Yep.
So, Astrogoth, what would you like to do?
In the spirit of Valgar, I think I'm going to have to go with the dupe, as you said.
Do motherfucker.
All right. Do you want to move away from him, or are you attacking at that specific spot?
Yeah, I'll like move a little bit back to get some. Well, get some distance between us.
Okay. Because I mean, if you stay close, you have disadvantage. If you try to move away from him,
Right.
he'll have opportunity attack. So
Right.
he is going to swing at you.
Bring it.
He does catch you, and so what that would mean is because his attack has the grapple written into it, he's going to do 7 points of damage to you, and you're not going to get away from him. He's going to grab a hold of you and draw you in as well. So he's got 2 people grappled. And then you're going to dupe him in the face. 15 will hit and a 19 will hit. So give me damage on both of those. Even with disadvantage, the dupes work. Okay.
Oh my god.
And
Dupes cannot be contained.
okay.
I imagine this is the equivalent of you turning up your volume all the way and then putting the headphones on him.
Yeah, so there's like a blast of force that kind of slams into his chest as he's holding onto you, which backs him off of you, and he slams against the wall. You then hear a "what" from the wall behind where he hits, and you recognize the voice of Albrix. And then the second dupe, you kind
He's a heavy sleeper.
you kind of cause the sound to kind of snap upwards. Like the first one was like a straight force, just shotgun blast of dupe into his chest, and then the next one's a little bit more like the angular ones that you throw, and it kind of snaps up and catches him in the chin, which causes his head to fly off again. And more blood just kind of splattering about. Lose, he's down again, but you obviously understand mechanically what's happening here.
Where is he?
Yeah, would you be still in your full gear? Like, do you just like in your normal gear, or do you kind of like dress down? Okay, then you have you have the wooden stakes on you.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, she'll
Shuffle through, grab it,
mhm.
get down onto the body before it kind of like takes form again. And as the head kind of moves and stops, and you see it start to winding its way back, you just slam that into its chest. The head kind of stops and screams at you as you're doing it, like watching from its like laying position on the thing, and it stops rolling. And as it's screaming, its face looks like it's still following the motions of screaming, but the sound cuts out. And what you realize is it's not because of the wooden stake, it's because it was drawing air from just around it, and there's no mechanism for it to actually like breathe air or make sound. So it just ran out with what little was available and just
Nice.
lays quiet. That's it. Deadish vampire on the ground. So stake through the heart destroys it. And so you would know that it's not a. Well, no, you don't know shit.
I need Glint.
Drags body over to Glint's room.
What do we do about? Is this COVID
So
related?
I found this. This piece of shit was messing around in the hallway.
Wait, do you really wake Glint up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Knock knock.
in the middle of
Yeah.
the night.
So he wakes up and he sees Lose standing there with a headless corpse with a stake sticking out of it. And he immediately just thinks to himself, I'm having a bad dream.
No, you're not. I know that
Oh.
face. There was a fucking vampire in the hallway trying to. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He was messing around.
Well,
What do we do with it?
it looks like you did it already.
So you
Don't
would,
put him on a.
yeah, you would know that the body is basically, for all intents and purposes, destroyed.
Mm.
It will not be fully destroyed until one of two things happens. It needs to be in its resting place, the body. So you need to go lay it in its coffin. Or leave it out in the sunlight.
Burn it.
These are the only
Oh.
2 ways that the body will be destroyed.
Is there like
gotta
a
babysit body.
chest? Is there like a chest in the room?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like a little footlocker.
I've got one.
Okay, yeah. I would recommend that we
Just stuff them in there.
store the body and the head separately until morning. And then first thing in the morning, we're going to drag these outside.
Yeah, we gotta keep them separated
Fun.
because if they get back together, it's a situation of head or alive, essentially.
Mm.
Right. As the offspring say, you got to keep them separated.
Exactly.
Both of you.
Da-da,
Both of you.
da-da.
Both of you can have inspiration.
Dang it! I've been singing that in my head for the last 30 seconds.
I'm sorry if I battered you into not saying puns.
I wasn't even going for that. I was going for the dead or alive pun. I thought head or alive was clever, but I'll take it.
Head or alive and gotta keep them separated. These were
Da-da, da-da-da-da.
So you
Man,
have a
that sounds
coffin full of vampire body. Before you close the chest on
Ridiculous.
that, is there anything you want to do?
I'm gonna sit on it and finish my trance.
Before you close it, I mean.
Put a brick in its mouth? I don't know.
Its mouth is over there. The head's being separated.
Oh. Glint has the head?
I'm surprised the first question or first answer to this has not been the thing that I fully anticipated it to be.
We don't want you to get banned.
No.
What?
Give me that inspiration back.
No.
No. I was joking anyways, but you're right. No. God damn. Okay, wow. I like you a lot,
Put it in
Zach.
the chest?
That was an appropriately dark joke, and I loved it. But no, sorry. What would you do with a thing that you killed that might, have stuff on it?
Loot it?
Yeah, that's right. You glued it.
I didn't have the body.
Does she get a
She
sticker?
brought it to you.
I dragged it
Yeah,
to your
but Glint didn't get out of bed.
Oh, he
I
just laid there. He's
dragged it to
like,
your room.
he just waved his hand while laying in bed. Fucking, put it in that chest over there.
That's why he opened his eyes. He surveyed the situation and immediately
reaches-
just assumed he was having a bad dream.
Reaches over and checks his phone real quick and sets that back down. He's like, yeah, that's good. Chest.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Keep them separated.
So
If you see another one, let me know.
if you do so,
Yeah, we fucking loot his body. He's
Ab-
stealing all our shit, so
absolutely,
we'll take his.
perfectly fair. So it has 3 items that immediately kind of stand out above all else. It appears to have a sash that's very ornate. It looks like in its thread bearing, it has indicators of elvish markings. It has a cloak, which is more of a mantle than a cloak, and a ring. These are the 3 items it has that are of note.
Is the ring a signet ring?
It is not. It has one ring that looks like it's kind of very ornate in designing, just jewelry, and then on its pinky, its left pinky, it has a signet ring, which is standard of Jannar nobility.
So I'm assuming those are quote unquote magical items. Does it have any non-magical stuff on it, like money or?
No, you typically don't wear money on you when you're going to assassinate people.
Yeah, well, I don't
You
know
need a
how.
cab.
Well, okay, I do know how that.
Yeah, it's well,
Hey,
job
need
well
to call
done.
an
Let me
Uber
just
real
call an
quick.
Uber real quick. Oh, you got a cell phone.
Oh yeah.
This is the second time I've referenced cell phones being here, but that's not it.
We
Uh,
all
You know,
that
I'm
they're
kinda
actually
tempted
shell
to,
phones.
Incinerate the body and preserve the head, and then go set the head somewhere where the Lycoy are going to find it.
Albrecht will kind of note that, the situation is kind of coming out groggy. This is bad. This is real bad. If
Might need to start and do shifts of sleep.
no, that's not it at all. What I mean.
Yeah, by this point, if everybody's kind of conversing, Glint would put some clothes on and come outside.
If they track it back to here, they're not going to come at us with a single person like they just did. Why the fuck did he come alone?
We may have neglected to inform you. They were aware of who
Yeah,
you were.
I know. You said that. But why wouldn't they just send a force to deal with us instead of just one of his children?
Well,
I do.
Maybe he's acting on his own.
Yes.
James was
He
concerned
was
that
kind of an ass. And
I think-
arrogant.
I think at this point I would chime in about how I was told about the forces actually moving away to 2 different locations. Because that's what I was told at the tavern, right?
Mm.
2 different.
I think they are anticipating.
This can't be. He points to the body. This can't be tracked back here. Whatever you do in disposing it, make sure that every single bit of anything that's recognizable is either altered in some way or disposed
No,
of.
we'll have it all gone first thing in the morning.
Great. I think that the Rusty Blade may no longer be a safe haven for us. And it might be time to shutter our doors.
Or we could use this place to set an ambush.
An interesting notion. We'll discuss it more in the morning. I can hardly
Yes,
keep my eyes
I'm
open.
very tired.
If you take the time to hit the hay, I know that Astrogoth doesn't have identify. Your identify route kind of got stolen from you. But I will say that Lana is capable of casting identify, and she's up in the basement if you're wanting to identify those items.
Down in the basement?
Yeah. Did I say up in the basement?
You
Yeah.
did.
Well,
I thought
That
you.
you meant like up as in awake.
It's like a vertical Donkey Kong style deal. It's like you go. Don't listen to me ever.
Oh, speaking of barrels, why don't we put the body in a barrel?
Well, yeah,
And we can fill the barrel with holy water.
Hey.
because you have
Then
a
we can
chest.
push it off a waterfall, and then the barrel breaks open during the day, and then he sizzles.
So
No, I think it's
Rub-a-dub-dub.
probably best
Wait,
if we don't let any part of this body out of our sight until it's in the sun.
the cloak or mantle is a cloak of protection +1.
Nice.
The sash or belt is a. I'll come back to that. The ring was a ring. Sorry, my notes are a hot mess. Trying to find
3
this.
wishes.
Yeah, it was a ring of 3 wishes, and he wished for himself to be dueled and die.
Wow, what a shitty wish.
It's a fucking dumb wit. What an
Yeah,
idiot.
right, nerd.
Hey! Everyone has their kinks.
Yeah, it's a ring of
Maybe
water
that was
walking.
his.
And I will note
Water
that
walking?
water, rushing variety of water, obviously present between here and there, but for vampires is very difficult to cross over. And also, if they're in it, it can kind of melt them. So it makes sense that he would have such an item. The sash. Sorry, bear with me.
With elvish writing.
If it's okay with everyone, could I take that cloak of protection?
I don't really need the extra AC. I think I'm currently sitting at 19. No. Let me see. 18, I believe.
Sorry, my notes did not have the sash, but it was
And then I
highlighted
have-
in his character card. So it's just a failing on my part, really. Is what that is. Typical, right?
Yeah, I'll have 19 AC next level.
This will put me at 14.
Man, I had a paladin whose base AC was like 22.
Dang.
So the
Plus, it looks fabulous.
The highest I ever got it
The
was
most
20.
important part.
the sash. It is technically supposed to be worn around the neck, but he wore it around the waist, and it is a Carrot of wound closure.
I know it's not what you said, but I heard carrot of wound closure.
Yeah, it is a carrot of wound. It is a sash of wound closure.
Hot.
So, for dying creatures, it's mechanically different than how it was operating for him specifically.
I kind of want that.
But since you basically quickly tossed him into a fucking treasure chest and ripped all his shit off at the same time, it didn't have time to function as it was supposed to.
Hmm.
You would know
Could come in
this.
handy as a surprise in a duel.
Yeah. Well, the thing that Clint would note is this is not an uncommon trick like wound closure magic items, because if you are lanced as a vampire outside of your resting place, your hollow, your like death ground, wound closure will actually pop a stake out of you if given enough time.
Okay.
So
Obviously,
save you from a mistake.
yeah. Well, mechanically, it's gonna work differently for you living assholes, but yeah, it's in the hands of a vampire has different functionality.
True that.
Okay.
I've almost died the most.
So the next morning, you
Only counts with horseshoes and hang.
chuck the body out into the outside and then let it burn.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll try to be discreet about hauling it outside. Are there windows in our rooms?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
Just
probably
throw
what
it
we
out.
yeah, like have somebody outside ready to receive the body, and then we just toss it out the window.
Yeah, more than fair. There aren't many houses close by. The only house that's really close is the general store. So, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
the less
again,
witnesses, the better.
Yeah.
And then we obviously want to observe it until it's completely burned up, and then scatter the ashes.
Do we have a rug?
yeah, I would say so, or at least a blanket.
Want to wrap the body in a rug?
We got the body in a chest.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
No, the body has to have straight up sun exposure.
Yeah, so you take the body in the chest, you shove it out the window in the middle of the night, it slams outside, keep an eye on it, and then in the morning you just pop the chest, and then the ashes are self-contained. They're gonna be right there in the chest, and you throw the head in, as the thing burns up, so that like you just gotta fade away jumper it into the fucking treasure chest, and then it'll burn as well. So that's satisfactory. And then all the items that were non-magical, what do you do with them to dispose of them?
Burn them with them.
Okay, so regular fire in the chest.
Bonfire. Bonfire.
All of the fire is happening. It is happening here. In the morning, also, you would note that the return of the two scouting groups would take place. They head into the basement discreetly, and they begin their reports.
There was 3 scouting groups.
North Road and
Carver, Cleaver, and
Sorry.
oh yeah,
there are
there's
2
2
parties.
Groups. Yeah, my bad.
The scouts split at the fort, so it's forts and it's south and north.
Gotcha.
So the Northtown ones would report first, and what they would tell you is that the Midtown district of North Road is like burgeoning. It's doing quite well up there. Looks like from what they were able to see at the end of their kind of look is that a market was being set up near the small bridge. It looks like at the point where the large bridge was broken down, a construction team has set up some 20 individuals, from what they could tell, and they have a force of about 15 Denisovans that guard them. They work throughout the day, but they take the ferry rides right there at where the bridge is being constructed. They've created a small port for the ferry there. And yeah, it's quite burgeoning, quite busy up that way, with people moving from North Road up to that position. And it looks like they are also moving from up north ways to the lakefront. Or not the lakefront, sorry, the Forester's Camp, which is kind of in between you and the river. It's a big hill with a bunch of trees that have been cut down over time. where a lot of the loggers of the town go.
Between-
And then from the south reports, I just gotta check and see which one was in which position. The names sometimes get me, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So Fort Cleaver would be the westernmost fort. It is still as it was the last time they scouted it, full strength. Fort Carver looks like it is completely reduced to skeleton, just guards for the actual fort, which is a total of 12 individuals. It looks like they're manning the fort just to maintain it, and from what this would be Ivan who's speaking, from what he thinks is kind of present here, being a bit combat worthy himself, their mission isn't to protect the fort. It will be to defend it with some and move to get reinforcements from Cleaver with others. So if an attack was made against the fort in its current lowered down man state, that would be something to watch out for.
Okay.
Wait, I'm confused.
What's up?
So Cleaver was the one that was full.
Westernmost.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Carver was the one.
Easternmost. So it's like nearly
Okay.
directly south of Sepulchre's Barrow. But like
Okay. I just got confused because I put that Ivan went to Cleaver and Cliver went to Carver.
I might have written it down wrong. So then Cliver tells you she, after consorting with Ivan, who's a bit more battle worthy than she is, they thought after comparing notes that was probably what would happen. Since Carver is not manned, it's not likely that 12 people are going to try and hold the fort. It's more likely that they're going to try and rush for reinforcements, while a few try and use like anti-siege methods, like dropping shit on people, etc.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So with the vampire burnt and everything reported in, Albrecht seems to be moving the agitators and telling them not to report at Rusty Blade any longer. He says instead, to contact me, you will speak to Blathild directly, and that, her farmhouse, is where you should meet. Meet at the old ruins there. And everyone seems to be receptive of that. And he tells Orlandis and company, I will have to start keeping you up for the night here, as I'm going to be shuttering it. It's very likely that this place will be clearly watched if the Lycoi are focusing in on it enough to send an assassin to kill me.
Makes sense.
Type. Hit with a
Wood
leg.
whittle.
But yeah,
Long boy.
if anybody, go ahead.
I was going to say, since we completed a long rest before we call it for the night, do we have any experience?
Yeah, so it would have been since that fight happened in it, and there wasn't really much in the way of fighting. I'm gonna give
I
you.
don't know. There was a lot of fighting for me.
I'm gonna give you the experience for the succubus, which I'm gonna consider successful because you didn't try to fight her. And
But
then
what about the roper?
the roper was not a success. You didn't fight it.
Yeah, we
You
just
kinda
kind of.
fed it.
Yeah.
But I will give you the succubus experience, and I will give you the vampire son experience.
What about the ghosting?
You killed the sun with the sun?
Yeah.
No, you don't get the experience for the ghosty. You also didn't succeed at that either. It'll come back up, I promise.
That sounds like a threat.
100% of threat.
Divided by 5. So we're looking at
You
a total
fucked up.
of 750 per. And if you
Nice.
would have leveled, then you level because long rest. And thanks for watching those that did, and we will pick up next time. Thanks for watching those that did. Ciao.
Bye.